This is a compilation video of some of my favorite Dollar Tree Christmas DIYs from 2023. Sit back, grab a cup of coffee or some warm cocoa and enjoy today's video. I'm Jamie, the crafty DIY guy. Welcome back to my channel. And for this first project, I'm going to be using these cones and a bunch of rope. I'm actually only going to end up using about a bundle and a half of rope on each one of the cones. I had these cones left over from the summer and I've been waiting for Christmas because I had this idea. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the rope and I'm going to separate it into the three individual kind of pieces of rope that make up this rope, and we're going to separate those because we are going to wrap our cone with those. Now, once you do separate that, we're just going to tie it off in a knot at one end of it, and then we're going to start by just kind of following the curvature of the, I guess it's the center kind of piece of wire that's wrapping around there. And as you can see, I'm just taking the rope and I'm just going to wrap that all the way around and just kind of make sure that it's covering up that wire. Now, the good thing about this is it doesn't have to be exact. In fact, it's probably better if it's not, because if you think about these kind of decorative cones that you do see wire, you do see twine, you see different things, and that's kind of what makes them very cool looking when it's all said and done. And you're going to see that we're going to wrap this up a couple different ways, so you're not going to even really notice any of that. Now, as you get kind of closer to the top of this, you will see that it's going to be a little harder to feed that rope through, but no worries. If you have a Cricut or you have some of the tools that you have on hand, grab those. Any kind of hook, a dental pick, anything like that will work. And as you're getting closer and closer to the top there, you can pull that through with that kind of dental pick or the weeding tool, anything like that that you can pick up. Is going to help you. It's going to be your best friend. And then you're going to just start wrapping again. You're going to take another piece of rope. It does work better, I found, if you cut it down and just kind of cut it into smaller, little more manageable pieces. That's the Cricut tool I was telling you about there. And you just kind of pull that rope through. And as you're getting to the top of the cone, you're just going to kind of glue all those pieces of rope and stuff together. And we are going to end up trimming that. So eventually it's going to look like this. And you're going to do this 2.0. Now you're going to take these Garland pieces, these Garland ties from Dollar Tree, and you are going to wrap and wrap and wrap and wrap all of these around the areas that you just wrapped in rope. And now you can kind of see what I was talking about, how the exposed wire, it's not really going to show. In fact, it's just going to kind of help kind of create this whole kind of wintry kind of wonderland that we're creating here with these cones. And as you are working with these, by the way, I only started with one package and I ended up having to go and get a second package. So heads up, if you do this, if you have two of these cones, you're going to need at least 2, if not 3 packages of these Garland ties. And then as far as the rope goes, I used a bundle. I think it was a bundle and a half for the first cone. And then I used, I would say, 1 bundle for the smaller cone. So as you're kind of wrapping this around and literally covering this up, you're going to have a critter that kind of looks like this guy right here. And now we're going to take this pine cone garland that I picked up from Dollar Tree. By the way, this is like the worst bound stuff. It was so hard to untangle it. The wire is so small and so tiny, it's so hard to figure it out. But once I did kind of figure that out, then you're just going to take the pine cone garland, and we're just going to wrap this around. There's no real rhyme or reason for this. You could certainly follow that curvature again if you wanted to, which I'm doing here, but you'll notice that your piece of the pine cone garland is actually pretty long, so you'll be able to do 2 passes of this. So once I started at the top and got to the top, then I just worked my way down and around again, just kind of wrapping this as I worked my way around. And again, because all of this is wire, it's pretty much staying in place. I did add little dabs of hot glue here and there, especially for the rope, but for the garland ties, that worked out really, really well as is. And then this garland for the pine cones also worked out exactly. So now you've got something like this. Feel free to take some hot glue, kind of, fix some areas. Some of the pine cones came off of my garland, so I'm just going to glue those back into place. And then at the top here, feel free to trim that down if you want because of the excess rope and the garland ties. It looks a little clunky at the top, and you certainly don't want that. Again, if you need to make any repairs, if you need to fix your rope, do whatever you got to do. And then we're going to add some of these red berries. And I loved these berries because they had this kind of frosted or flocked tips to them. And we are going to take these and we are literally just kind of running those all along that different parts of these cones. We are kind of creating this whole kind of, wonderland of this kind of woodland look. You've seen these at Kirkland, you've seen these at different places, and I was definitely inspired to create my own version here. And the great thing about this is that this is 100% Dollar Tree. Now you're going to replicate this times 2, and you're going to wrap some lights around it, and you've got the absolute cutest decorative cones. I'm obsessed with these. I love them. Now this next DIY is going to be pretty easy, pretty straightforward. We're going to take some Christmas napkins. I liked these in particular because anything that's always got this kind of white color in there is always going to be good, especially if you're going to be doing a project very similar to this. Now I couldn't find my scissors, but I had my Cricut tool very handy there. So I just grabbed that, and this tool is actually going to come in really, really handy because these napkins, they're always kind of 2-ply, and basically what you're going to be doing is we're going to cut away the white part of this, and we kind of want that poinsettia pattern that's kind of on the left side there. And you're going to do that with 2 napkins in this case because just because of the coverage, really. Now I did use this Elmer's spray glue, which actually sprayed for me this first time that I was using it. Typically the glue clogs up really badly. So take a, like a dental pick, your Cricut weeding tool, anything that you've got like this, and you're going to separate that piece of almost like tissue paper. That way you get a very nice thin coating. Now it's kind of hard to see on these poinsettia napkins, but there's almost a little bit of a wood grain on them, and I want to make sure that wood grain goes up and down. So go ahead and remove this label. This is the worst label ever. And then you're going to spray your napkin down with the hot glue, or with the spray glue rather. And we're just going to take it and we're going to roll our candle holder like this. Now I could have gone the other way, but remember, you're not seeing it probably very well in the video, but the pattern is kind of a wood grain with the poinsettias, and so I wanted the wood grain to go up and down, which is why I did it this way rather than going sideways. But remember, I do have 2 napkins, so after this has dried, then we're just going to go ahead and just cover another one. That way I kind of fill in that little bit of space that you see there, and just so it it looks good. You could certainly put that piece of the napkin to the back side and nobody would ever see it. But then, my luck, somebody would pick it up and go, oh, this is so pretty. And then they'd see that it was unfinished. Of course, if they're a friend, it doesn't matter, right? So after it's all dry, this is what it looks like. It's so pretty. I love the way that this turned out. It's a great way to personalize and create some fun holiday candles for yourself. Now, this next DIY is going to be really, really cute. And I grabbed this best sign, or this blessed sign. This was in the Dollar Tree Plus section, but it was actually marked down. It was like 50 cents, and I figured I could give it a new life. I also grabbed these galvanized metal letters. By the way, if you do grab any of these, make sure you grab 2 packages and you've got the complete alphabet. I have some of these pendants that are left over from when I made my kind of climbing Santa on the ladder, and we're going to use those as well as those bottle brush trees. Now, the first thing we need to do is remove the lettering that is left on here, and to do this, we're going to use our heat gun. Now, these letters are just kind of an MDF wood, so they actually do come off pretty easily for the most part, or at least I thought they would. And you're going to just take the heat gun, and first thing I'm going to do is try and get rid of any of that residual glue from that letter that did fall off, and then we're going to go through and just repeat this process on all of those letters, getting rid of all of those, and then just kind of really, really scraping, especially while that glue is hot, and kind of getting rid of all of that glue. If you have a scraping tool like I do here, I picked this up in the Crafter Square section at Dollar Tree. It will come in really, really handy. Now I'm just going to take a piece of sandpaper. We're going to go through each block and just kind of sand those down. Now, I originally thought that I would paint this with a antiquing wax, but unfortunately it didn't take, especially in those areas where the letters were glued down. You could still kind of see those. So I decided after that I would go ahead and wipe away a lot of that and then just go over top of it with my white chalk paint. This is also from Waverly, and I am just going to cover this. And when you're dragging your brush kind of back and forth, it almost gives it a wood grain look, which I kind of ended up liking a lot. And I thought that this would be really, really cute and just kind of give it that rustic kind of farmhouse look, especially with that barn. Now, for my letters, I wanted to paint those, but the problem is they move around. So add a little bit of glue. Just a tiny, tiny little dot of glue will help keep these letters in place, so when you paint them, they're not going to run away from you like mine were doing. So literally just adding the tiniest amount of glue on the bottom of each one of these letters, and then they'll stay in place and I can paint them and do what I'm going to do. Now, because these are metal, they didn't really take the paint super, super well, but I was actually kind of okay with that too, because I did like how they still kind of had that distressed look. That's my hair, by the way. And then after the letters were glued down, I wanted to add my bottle brush trees. Now, I put one larger tree on one side, and then I had 2 smaller ones that were just going to kind of cluster together, and we are going to add those to the other side of the barn, giving this a really kind of cute, wintry wonderland kind of effect. And again, because I am kind of keeping this somewhat distressed looking, we are going to now add some snow, and we're going to add some fun to this, and we're also going to add these lights. And to do that, I'm going to first just glue down some twine. I'm going to glue this down on top of the barn, and you're just going to cut that down to size and then just glue it down. This is so much easier than trying to create a garland and then gluing it on top of this barn. So just kind of follow this process. Super, super easy to do this. And then for those lights, now I'm going to just add those on top of my twine, kind of right along the roof line of the barn, giving it this effect that this barn is all lit up with these Christmas lights. Super, super cute. Now we are going to add the snow. To do that, I am just going to add some glue right along the base of the barn, and we're going to sprinkle some of this faux snow from Dollar Tree right into that glue, and then we're going to to also add some glue onto the bottom of our trees. That way this really does look like a completely kind of covered winter wonderland. And then the red, the distressing on the letters, it's going to look good. And then I'm going to take my spatula here and kind of use it like a snow shovel and make sure I'm using every single bit of that snow, adding some snow even to the top of the barn. And when you're done, you've got the cutest little holiday sign. I love the way this turned out. This next DIY is going to be really, really easy. All you're going to do is take one of these Dollar Tree signs and some paint, some wood Christmas trees, and some scrapbook paper, some glue, and you're going to just kind of create a new, vibrant, kind of bright Christmas sign. Now, for this particular sign has this where the love, laughter, and happily ever after is. It's actually a raised piece that's kind of stuck on top of that wood piece or that faux wood. And I thought that if I took the heat gun, I could pry this off. No way. This sucker is not moving. It is super glue or something. So I left it there. Now I'm going to take my scrapbook paper and just kind of go over, I put it on top of that wood block, and then I'm just kind of tracing around with my fingertip and kind of creating the indentions of the sign. I guess I could have measured it, but I did it this way. I'm going to take some scissors and then just kind of follow along those indentation lines and cut this down to size, making sure that I've got this nice and straight, or at least as straight as it can be. And we are going to then glue this down on top of the center of our sign. We're taking happily ever after, and we're going to create some Christmas magic with it. And I really love the way that this turned out. Now, my spray glue decided to not spray, and so I just took the lid off of it, and now we're just going to add the glue directly on top of that love, laughter, and happily ever after. It's definitely a cute sign, but I think what I did with it is actually a little bit cuter. Now we're going to add our scrapbook paper on the top of that, and we're just going to directly place this down and make sure that it's got a really good hold on it, and just kind of smooth it down with our fingers, holding it into place until it starts to set. Now, for our Christmas trees, this is a Christmas tree kind of ornament set. I'm just going to be using one of these. So we're going to take our Christmas trees, we're going to put them aside, and then I'm going to start to paint. Now, I had this gold in mind, but it just was not popping. So instead, I went with this green, and I'm really, really happy that I did because I loved the way that this turned out. Now, I took my green paint and just completely covered my tree in the green paint. And then I did incorporate a little bit of that gold into the star at the top. For the green, I'm just doing one coat. And because it's kind of a... It's just kind of a thicker acrylic paint. It was the coverage was really, really good, and I liked the kind of washed out effect. So I'm going to take my tree, I'm just going to center it in the middle, and boom, you've got the cutest little Christmas ornament. I love this sign. It's perfect for a tiered tray. Now, I'm not going to lie, I think that this wreath is probably one of my favorites ever. It's a collection of stuff that I bought from Walmart, from Dollar Tree, and we are going to create a beautiful, beautiful wreath. These ornaments, how cute are these, by the way? And grabbed two of those, grabbed two of these barns. This is the backside, by the way, because there is a little wreath that's glued onto the front of those. And then I have a couple of these church ornaments that I picked up from Dollar Tree, and then this flocked wreath. This actually did come from Walmart, but if you have a wreath that's already green, take some spray paint or some chalk paint and just flock it. And for the churches, we're going to get rid of the red because I'm not wanting any red in this wreath. We're keeping it kind of neutral tones here. We're using golds. We're going to incorporate some creams, the flocked, and all the goodness. So for the house ornaments, go ahead and just take the ornament kind of hanger off the top of these. For these particular ones, these just screwed in, so it was really really, really easy to just remove them. And then you noticed that for the churches and everything else, I did the same exact thing. Now, I have these white picks. These did come from Walmart, but I've seen these also at Dollar Tree. And I'm just kind of getting some ideas for spacing. As you can see, I'm not gluing anything down because I'm literally just kind of plot this out or trying to figure out how I want to do this in my brain before I commit to anything. I guess I have a commitment phobia when it comes to floral picks. So now that I've got an idea of where my picks are going to go, I'm going to add my houses or my ornaments here. And because I'm using 2 of each one, we're just going to kind of spread them across from each other. That way we have good balance throughout the entire wreath. And literally just adding a ton of hot glue to the backs of these and then just nestling them down inside the wreath, kind of like this. And as you kind of create these all the way around, you'll see that the cuteness just really, really starts to explode. Again, I'm just doing hot glue. You could wire this if you wanted to. You could, I guess you could, you could wire it, or you could do hot glue like I'm doing. Either one works really, really well. We don't get a lot of super warm weather here in Atlanta where I'm at, so these have always held up really well for me. I've never had any issue with any of the wreaths that I've done. I typically always use hot glue on them. So go for it. Do whatever's going to work best for your environment and your climate. Now, these ornaments, they are pretty light, so these work out just fine. You don't have to worry about them falling off or anything, or at least mine have not as of yet. So now that we've got our houses placed, now we're going to take our floral picks and we're going to go back in and kind of place those a little more permanently now. Definitely add some hot glue with these and kind of work your way around, just kind of fluffing and balancing and making sure that you've got everything nice and pretty. There was a wreath that I saw on the Anthropology website, and it was $150, and it looks a lot like this. So that was definitely my inspiration for this. And again, those floral picks, we're just kind of spreading those out and making sure that we've got good coverage and just good spacing. Now it's time for the fun. We're going to add some of these bottle brush trees. Now, I picked up this set of bottle brush trees. I got 24 of them, and there's 3 different sizes here and 3 different colors in 3 different sizes in each color. And I picked these up on Amazon. They were less than $24 for 24 pieces here in total. And this was such a good value, such a good deal. And I really loved this color combo, especially with the houses and with the barns. And now we're going to add our trees into our wreaths, and we're going to get these added simply by using that hot glue once again. Now, as you can see, there are 3 different sizes, and I'm just making sure that when I cluster my trees around my houses, I am doing this with the same trees on each side. So just again, adding some glue, adding some trees, adding some glue, adding some trees, and doing this on each side of the houses. I've kind of sped up the footage here a little bit so you can kind of get an idea of what I'm doing. And, you're just kind of creating like this little forest around each one of your houses in each one of the churches, and you're going to do this until you've got this completely covered with trees. I am obsessed with this wreath. I absolutely love it. I love the way it turned out at the end, and the only thing that I did after the fact was string some battery operated lights through this. It is so gorgeous. I am obsessed once again with this, and I saved so much money by doing this myself with Dollar Tree and Walmart supplies. Now for this next DIY, we're going to take these felt stickers that I picked up from Dollar Tree. I loved these when I saw these, and I wanted them for this round kind of setup here, but we're going to separate these into 3 different piles because each package of stickers or each package of felt stickers does come with 3 different types of stickers in here. Now that I've got these all kind of set up and laid out and spaced out, we are going to add these super cute Scrabble letters. Now, I picked up these Scrabble letters from Hobby Lobby and loved that they said merry and bright and thought that these could be super fun to create a very cool Christmas garland with these. So I'm going to take them and I'm going to add those to each one of my felt ornaments here, and we're going to just spell out merry with our Scrabble pieces. Now, the great thing about these kind of Scrabble type pieces is that you can get these at Dollar Tree. I've seen these in the Crafter Square section, and you can get these, pretty much anywhere. Michael's, Hobby Lobby, different places like them have them. So if you can't find these exact letters that I grabbed, feel free to create your own, have your own fun with it, and we're just going to add all of those pieces to our stickers. Now, these are felt stickers, and if I had enough of them, I probably would have stuck 2 of them back to back, if that makes sense. I didn't, so you'll notice that the backs of the stickers still have the white kind of peel off part. You want to make sure that that obviously stays intact because you don't want your garland to stick to your fireplace or your mantle or wherever you're going to put these. So I'm going to take my rope here. I picked up this from Hobby Lobby. Love the red and the green and the white. And I'm just adding a little bit of hot glue, and we are going to glue this down all the way across until we are completely done. And you've got the absolute cutest garland ever. I love the way that this turned out. I love the way it looks on my undecorated mantle for Christmas. That is going to change very soon. Now, this next DIY is not really a DIY per se, although I would say that I did DIY this and added it to my tree. These lanterns are so adorable from Dollar Tree, and I was able to get 6 of them, and I just simply added them to my Christmas tree. This is a Christmas tree that is in my guest room, and I am obsessed with it. I love the rustic charm, and I really love the way that those lanterns pop on this Christmas tree. Now, if you saw my latest haul, then you saw me haul these metal reindeers from Dollar Tree. Thought that they were great. I grabbed these in the plus section at Dollar Tree, and I wanted mine to be red. I didn't see any red ones. I saw these galvanized metal ones. I saw them in bronze. I saw them in different colors, but I didn't see them in red. So I took some red spray paint, added a little bit of a wreath around the neck of them, and thought that they are the perfect addition to my winter wonderland. Now, this next DIY is going to incorporate something that I did purchase at a store called Bargain Hunt. So this one is technically not a Dollar Tree DIY, although the twine that I am using is from Dollar Tree. So just kind of go with me. How cute are these star pieces? Now, this last star is kind of thick, so we're going to use that for something else at another time. But these other 3 are so cute. And I had these little wire wreaths that I thought could be cute as well. And I wanted to add them onto my Christmas tree. So to do that, I'm literally just going to take each one of these kind of wood stars, and we're going to add these wreaths to them, and then we're going to take that Dollar Tree twine. Now, these do not have any holes in them, so I am going to drill a hole into each one of them. Now, obviously, be very careful whenever you're working with any kind of power tools. I actually used that thicker star to kind of help me get a really good solid hole through there. And now we're just going to take our twine. We're going to glue the wreath down. We're going to take our twine. We're going to add it through each one of those. We're going to tie a little knot at the top. How cute are these for ornaments? Love the way that these turned out. You could certainly take some Dollar Tree Crafter Square stars and make something very similar. Now, this next DIY is going to be very similar to one that you've seen in the past. If you saw this peace sign that I hauled, I actually grabbed this from Crafter Square and I took it outside and I spray painted it silver. Now, the reason why the paint is going, or the photo here is going so slow, the video, is because as I was painting this silver, I was also painting a couple other things, including my red reindeers. Well, guess what happened? Some of the red paint ended up coming on to the silver on the peace sign, but that was okay because it was kind of a happy accident, I would say, when it was all said and done. So now you can kind of see my silvery red peace sign here, and I'm not hating it, especially with this scrapbook paper that you see here in the background. Now, the great thing about the scrapbook paper is that it is very generous in size. However, it's not quite big enough this way, but if you turn it to the side, it works perfectly. And I am just going to take this and trace around it, and we are going to trim this down because we're going to glue this onto the back of our sign. And by the way, if you happen to hear a dog in the background barking, that is my neighbor's dog, Lady. She is outside and she is the cutest, sweetest dog, and she's just being vocal and saying hello to the neighbors. So if you do hear that in the background, please say hi to Lady for me. Now, after I've got the scrapbook paper kind of trimmed out and cut down, I did glue this down. By the way, don't you love that this scrapbook paper is two-sided? I did pick this up at Hobby Lobby as well, and it's got that really cool wood grain with those snow kind of effects on it. I thought that that was super, super cute, and definitely have a couple more pieces of this, so I'm going to incorporate that somehow into a future DIY. But for this purpose, that is now the back of our sign, because we are going to take our scrapbook paper and we're just going to glue this down. Now, because I'm working with hot glue, I have found that it works better if you do it in smaller increments and then just kind of, work your way around. Otherwise, the hot glue is going to get very clumpy, but super cute. I'm just leaning this up against my tree. I love it. This is another very, very easy DIY. I have these fish bowls that I picked up from Dollar Tree, as well as these LED candles. And this is kind of a recycled DIY too, by the way. So I'm taking those fish bowls outside and I'm spray painting them silver. You can see my little peace sign down there where I also spray painted that. That was a success. But these are being spray painted silver because they're going to be candle stands. How easy is this? And if you put some lights underneath them, they really, really glow and they pop. So this next DIY, this one was a little bit of a challenge. Not totally loving the way it turned out, but I took these burlap pendants and then these wooden snowflakes. We're going to go ahead and antique wash these snowflakes, and I think I wish I would have done them a little more white. This is definitely a kind of learning process. Now, these burlap pendants, these did come from Hobby Lobby. However, I have seen these same kind of burlap pendants in Dollar Tree, and they're in the party section. You can get them in kind of a off-white color, and they have a kind of a white scroll kind of effect on them. Super, super cute. They would totally work for this DIY. Now I'm going to take my rustic bells here and I'm going to tie those in between each one of the pennants. Now I'm only using 6 of the pennants for this, and we're just going to take our bells and we're going to tie those off in between each one of those. And we're going to do that on every single kind of in between and also on the ends. And can you see how my snowflakes are kind of matching with the burlap? They're not really showing up on camera. They do have some white in them, but I will agree with you and say that they do not have enough white. I'm actually redoing this project, and I may even redo it for an upcoming video, but because I feel like I need a redo on this one. I'm going to take those snowflakes and I want to paint them white, but for right now, they are the same color or practically the same color as the burlap. So as you've got your bells kind of tied off, you're going to take your snowflakes and just start gluing them down on top. Now, I wanted something that would kind of bring in the white, so I added these little bows on top of each one of the snowflakes. I don't hate them, but I don't love them either. Again, this is going to be a project redo. This is definitely going to be something that I redo for the fireplace. And again, think that when those snowflakes are white, it is going to pop, and this is going to be really, really, really pretty. Now, these angels, they're another DIY. That's not really a DIY, but I thought I would share with you. These are LED angels, super, super cute. There's 3 different styles of them that you can get at Dollar Tree. And what's so great about these is that they change colors. And all I did was just take them and I nestled them into my Christmas tree. And I love the way these turned out. They're super, super cute. Angels definitely have a significant importance for me, and I'm sure they do for you as well. And I thought they were the perfect addition to my winter wonderland Christmas tree here. Now, for this next DIY, we're going to create the cutest little snowman. I'm going to take this pet scarf and we are going to add this to our jar there that we have, that hanging kind of mason jar. Now, for this pet scarf, it is a little wider than I want it to be, and it's definitely a little bit longer than I need it to be. But how cute is this going to be? Look at these oversized snowballs. Have you seen these at your Dollar Tree yet? I picked these up in the Crafter Squares section, and they fit perfectly into this jar. We're going to create a little snowman in a jar. How cute is this going to be? Don't worry, we're not going to crash his head down in there. We're going to do it kind of like this. But first, we have to get to this pet scarf. Now, this pet scarf does have some Velcro on it, and but as you can see, it's just a little too long. I was going to tie it in a knot and, make it look like it was a scarf that was kind of around the neck, but the thickness was just bothering me, and there's a weird kind of Velcro patch. I guess it's not weird. It's good for your pet, and it keeps it on your pet's head, but or your pet's neck. But we're going to remove that Velcro patch because we don't need that. We don't need it to be right there. I'm going to take my weeding tool and I'm just going to pop the seams. If you have a seam ripper, if you have a dental pick, if you have anything like this at all, go ahead and use that and get rid of that Velcro kind of pad there. Once you get rid of that, you're going to take your scarf and you're just going to trim it up down the middle. I went almost, I would say about 75% of the way, and just trim that down, creating a scarf that was a much thinner version of exactly what I was needing. I'm going to take some hot glue and just glue this to the back of the jar. That way it stays in place. And we're going to add a little bit of embellishment onto our snowman scarf. I took this unfinished snowflake and I just simply added it to the kind of the part of the scarf there that would, I guess, tie in the front. And now we're going to add some buttons because every snowman has buttons down the front. I'm using the back of my paintbrush. I saw Courtney from Creative on the Cheap do this, and I thought it was brilliant because I cannot paint a circle to save my life. But if you use the back of a paintbrush and just dab down the jar, you are going to have great success. And then you can take a paintbrush and, if you're daring, kind of spread the paint out just a little bit and make your buttons a little more significant. Now we are going to take our heat gun and dry that off. But how cute is this starting to look? I'm going to take my snowballs and just kind of stuff them in. And then for the head part of this, we do want the head to stick out of the top. We are going to glue that down. We're just going to take a little bit of glue. We're going to add that right to the top here and stick this on top. Now we're not going to squish it, because if you do that, then his neck is not going to have the scarf around it. And you want to have the scarf, of course. Now, our snowman has no face. So once again, using that same paintbrush technique, just with a little bit thinner of a paintbrush, we're going to create eyes and a mouth just by simply dabbing this all the way around and creating a very cute and very sweet looking snowman face. And now for the snowman's nose, I'm just going to take a piece of, this is just a piece of scrap kind of material that I had. It's a piece of like scrap wood, and I'm just kind of trimming that down, and then I'm going to paint it orange using my Arteza paint markers. And these are just acrylic paint markers. I love these. And by the way, there's a link in my bio. If you go to arteza.com right now, use the code the crafty DIY guy 10, you'll save it 10%. How cute is this? I love him so much. A family frame that I picked up from Dollar Tree, as well as some of these laser wood pieces, the season's greeting sign. The kind of backdrop there with the little houses and the trees came from Family Dollar. The trucks I ended up not using, so we're going to put those aside. Go ahead and take all of your elements out of the frame and out of the baggies and stuff, and just get those ready to start painting. Now, you're going to notice with this house sign, there is a magnet, and the magnet should have been stuck to the back of that family sign, but it came off, good old Dollar Tree. But that's okay, because it needs to come off in this case. Now, see where this one piece of magnet is? That is actually what holds your picture. And in this case, we're going to go with the picture of this lovely family that came with my Dollar Tree. But we're going to take this season's greeting sign and we're going to replace that family sign with it, so you have something that goes like this. Now, we're going to adjust this up just a little bit. You can take the magnet off of the back of the frame and just kind of adjust that up, and that's what we're going to end up doing, and you'll see that later on in the video here. So once we've kind of figured out where our season's greeting is and where our little wreath is going to go, we're then going to take this kind of Christmas village kind of three-dimensional wood, laser wood cutout, and we're going to play around with this. We're going to figure out the best layout for this. Now, obviously it covers up the family, so we are going to cut these trees and we're going to separate them, and then you can kind of see we can play along with the placement of the trees. We can trim those down, cut those up as we need to. That way, when we overlay them on the frame, you'll be able to kind of still see that framed picture. Now, just to start our inspiration, go ahead and take your wreath. We're going to glue it right on top. I grabbed these wreaths from Amazon. I grabbed a package of like 8 or 9 of these, and I have just had those on hand, but they were kind of the perfect size to cover up that heart. And there's nothing wrong with the heart, of course, but because I am making this Christmassy, I wanted that wreath up there. Now, for that season's greeting signs, I'm just going to go ahead and paint this red. I'm using a red chalk paint from Waverly. I think it's called Crimson, and I'm just going to go and give this one really good coat. And we are going to also take our trees and we're going to paint them. Now, I did use this lighter green color from, I think this was an Arteza color, and I ended up kind of wanting to make them a little bit darker. So this is kind of what they look like for now. Just kind of keep this in mind when you kind of see the next phase here. Now, for the season's greeting sign, I did want to give this a little bit of dimension. So I am going to take my Arteza acrylic paint marker, and I'm just going to kind of trace around the edges of that sign just to kind of give it a little bit of dimension and really make it kind of stand out and pop. And then I am going to take that same exact green marker and we're just going to cover our trees just a little bit with that. So I did just go ahead and cover those with that paint. Then we're going to take our heat gun and just make sure they're dry. Now, for the trees, we want to glue these down to our frame, but we obviously want to be able to replace that photo. I would like to put a photo of my family in here. So as of right now, the season's greetings sign does have the magnet glued onto the back of it. I did not shoot that for whatever reason, but that is what's holding the family only on the frame as of right now. And then for the trees, we did cut little pieces of just kind of scrap wood pieces, honestly, from this laser cut set, and kind of elevate those trees. That way, as you can see, the picture still is moving, but we're not gluing the trees down on top of the picture. We're actually gluing the trees next to the picture. So the taller tree that you see me working with right there, that has a little extra piece of wood that I am going to glue on. And then for the smaller tree that we're going to kind of layer next to it, it actually only has a small piece of wood on the back side of it as well. That way the picture does freely move around. So super, super cute, right? This is what it looks like when it's done. Again, you can replace that photo as you need to. I think that this is pretty adorable. For this next DIY, we're going to take these garden kind of domes, these garden cloches that you can pick up in Dollar Tree, kind of in the section where the pots and stuff are. I've had mine for a while. By the way, that label will not come off, not even with the heat gun. You will melt these plastic cloches. So, yeah, good old Dollar Tree. Just go ahead and paint right over them in this case. I don't even know what you would do if you use these for the summertime. So now this is what they look like. I used a vintage gold, and we're going to take some bells because you have to have bells that jingle. And I'm just going to take 3 pieces of my twine here. I'm taking 3 equal pieces of twine, just cutting them up and tying them at the end, tying some bells, and we're going to do 6 bells in total. So each one of my kind of larger bells is going to have 3 of these bell strings in them. And then we're going to do this, and we're just going to set these aside. Once you've done that, then you're going to get some nautical rope, and you're going to take your nautical rope and you're going to cut this into half. You're going to take, I believe this was the 9-foot length, and just cut that in half. And then you're going to use this to string your bells kind of like so. Then once you've got this done, you can go ahead and take your bells and tie those to the inside of your string. Now my camera was messing up a little bit here, but I think you get the idea. Then I'm just kind of decorating the tops of my bells. When they're all done, this is what they look like, and I love the way these look on the front porch. And yes, they do jingle. Now for this next DIY, I'm going to take this wood round that I picked up from Target and this bowl from Dollar Tree. Now you can find wood rounds very similar in the Crafter Square section at Dollar Tree. They also have some thicker ones very similar to this one actually in the Dollar Tree Plus section. So either one will work, Michael's, Hobby Lobby. Go ahead and take your bowl, sand it down just a little bit. That's just going to help with the paint because we are going to take this outside and spray paint it. Now I'm using a very kind of thin coat of antique gold, and then I'm taking my wood round with some antiquing wax from Waverly, and we are just going to kind of stain our wood with this. I did do this in a fairly heavy coat, I would say, and then just take your heat gun and just kind of work your way around and help speed up that drying process. I love the richness that Waverly antiquing wax gives to wood. I obviously like to use it a lot. Now for the bowl here, we are going to add some hot glue. Actually, we're going to add a lot of hot glue, and you can also do a combo of E6000 if you want to. Mine's probably going to be a little temporary. I may end up using this for something else, which is why I use hot glue a lot of times, but either one will really work. Glue that to the bottom and you've got the most beautiful tray. I love the way this looks, and I plan to use this all year long in my decor. Next project, I am recycling this broom. This was a Halloween broom, and I'm going to turn it into the simplest just door hanger. I made a bow. By the way, I am not good at bows. I made this bow, and I used Jennifer from Little Bit of Comet Crazy. She does these amazing zip tie bows. Jen, I think I did you proud with my bow. I will link Jen's video for all of my challenged bow makers, and you will love the process. It is so, so easy. Also, speaking of easy, take a floral piece of floral that's left over, glue it to your broom, kind of like so. I am just going to add a bunch of hot glue in there, and then we're going to use my little makeup sponge here and just kind of squish that down in there. And then you're going to take your bow and we're going to add it right on top like so. And when it's done, you've got the absolute cutest door hanger, and you've got a fantastic bow. Thanks to Jennifer from Little Bit of Common Crazy. Definitely check out that video. It is game changing. I love the way this turned out. So, so sweet. So, so simple and easy. Speaking of easy, take one of these snowflakes, these plastic dishes you can get from Dollar Tree, spray paint it in antique gold or something like that. You've got a fantastic key tray. I love how easy that was. All right, now for my friends that do not have a Cricut, go to Amazon, look up HTV vinyl. There are so many different vinyl options, and this was actually a set. I bought like 22 pieces of this vinyl that was already done, already laid out, and all I have to do is iron it on. There are so many cute pieces in here. I will link this in the description box below. That way you can check this out if you want to get this for yourself. You can put this on anything you want, any kind of t-shirts, any kind of, blank canvas bags. I am taking a canvas shopping tote and just creating a bag with it, a Christmas bag. Now, I do have a Cricut. I do have a heat press. I think all of us know that. And I'm just going to set this on a low temperature. I think I put this on around 265, 270. If you are using your iron, I would probably do it on just a medium heat. If you have an iron that you can set the temperature on, I would do it around that same 265, kind of 260 range. And I did this for just a couple of minutes. Now, I had it set at 60 seconds. It didn't quite adhere. I did it for another 60 seconds. I think in all, I probably did it in 3 minutes total. But again, that could have been just because I was probably a little on the cooler side with my temperature. But, it's better than melting it or burning it onto your surface, which is something that, of course, you don't want to do. And then you're just going to peel back your kind of plastic there and look at the cutest little bag that you've got. Now, I'm going to use this for a shopping tote to be able to go and get my groceries and stuff with. I love this so, so much. Thought it was super, super cute. And it was so, so easy. Speaking of easy, if you can find these cups that you can get at Dollar Tree, you can create your own cup. And why not make a Christmas cup? Now, the black kind of part here that comes out, that's where your bevy goes. And this part is your template. How easy peasy is that? Take a sheet of scrapbook paper. I just grabbed some scrapbook paper that I had on hand. I did tape this down. That way my template would not move around as I was cutting this out. And then I just took a pair of small scissors. Small scissors, big scissors. I like all scissors equally. I had somebody ask me why I used the smaller scissors, and it's just sometimes I want to use the smaller scissors. That's why. That's literally why. And also it does help when you're trying to get a little refiner of a cut or finer cut. If you're trying to get in a smaller space, there's a lot of reasons for different types of scissors. If you want bigger scissors, go for it. Keep those larger scissors. But we're just going to take this, we're going to cut this out, and then you're going to put it inside your cup. How easy is that? And by the way, this has held up in my dishwasher. It is so, so cute. These could be extremely fun teacher's gifts as well. All right, so back in July, I went to the 99-cent only store that was in Los Angeles, and I grabbed this trio of planters. I have held on to this forever, and I've been trying to figure out what to do. It was only $1.99. Now, everything at the 99-cent only store ends in 99 cents. It used to be everything was 99 cents at the store, and then it changed. Does that sound familiar? Now, I took 3 of the trees from Dollar Tree as well, and some ribbon and some of these ornaments, and we are just going to cut the ribbon to be the same size as our pots. And then I am going to take one of the snowflake ornaments and we are going to glue that down to the front here. And we're going to repeat that 3 times or 2 times. That way we've got all 3 of our pots covered kind of like so. And if this isn't already cute enough, now we're going to take some floral foam, and I'm using my spatula tool that I picked up from Dollar Tree because guess what? It worked. And guess what? I cannot find that pool noodle knife to save my life. Now I'm going to go ahead and just trim that down and stuff it down inside of my pots, making sure that it's the right size and that it fits nice and snug. But to make sure that it does hold in there, I am just going to add some glue, some hot glue down in the bottom, and then we're going to take our foam and just kind of nestle that down in there again. And we're going to do this with all 3 pots. Now go ahead and take your Dollar Tree Christmas trees out of the package, and you're going to put those stands aside. You can actually save these stands. These stands make some fun candle risers. Go ahead and just unscrew the kind of holder part or the stand part off of the base of the trees as well, because you are not going to need these. But again, save them because I've got some DIY ideas coming up, not in this video, but for some future videos for sure with those. Now just take your trees and you're just going to stick them down in the center of your foam, and you're going to stick them all the way down to the base. And then go ahead and just take your trees and start to kind of fluff them out and create the Christmas trees with them. Now, they are not the thickest, trees in the bunch, but that's okay. Now you're going to take them and as you're nestling them and getting them ready in all 3 pots, you're also going to take it, because in this particular pots anyway, or these sets of pots, these 3 pots kind of are all nestled together on that one kind of galvanized metal tray. So I'm going to make sure that my trees are kind of nestled together in my 3 pots. So hopefully that's making sense. Now this is just a Santa beard that I had. I picked it up from a haul and I just trimmed it down. And then I'm just taking some chalk paint and I'm going to flock my trees. Probably should have sprayed these trees beforehand. Wasn't even thinking that far ahead, to be honest, when I was doing this. But this little brush and the little bit of chalk paint worked really, really good. Added some lights. This is what it looks like. How cute is this? I love this so much, and it's the perfect setup in my guest room. Now, this is the easiest DIY ever. If you've seen these little village sets, this lights up. You just remove this little tab, and how cute is this? It lights up. You don't even have to add a battery to it. Add some twine to the back of it. There are literally some screws that kind of hold this together. I just added some hot glue and some twine to the back of this. I created a light up ornament that I can put directly on my tree. How cute. I love this so much. This is also an easy DIY. You could do this with the kiddos if you wanted to. I do recommend, of course, staying close by because you are going to be lighting a candle. Now take that pesky label off. That label is the worst ever. It will eventually come off with the hot glue gun, or with the hot glue gun, oh my God, with the heat gun, and then some like Goo Gone or something. And then these are just cling stickers. They're a little hard to peel off of this thing, but once you do get them off of there, just stick them on your candle. Literally, you're creating a fun little pattern. It looks like you've got snowflakes from the snow happening in the kind of teal and the blue. They will stick. They don't stay on there perfectly, but again, super cute. Now, I have a bunch of bottle brush trees. I always have a bunch of them. And I had this piece of wood that was a crafter square piece of wood, and a ton of bottle brush trees. Some of them are Dollar Tree, some of them are Amazon, some of them are Target. I took some antique wax and just went over my piece of wood. That is actually a piece of paper towel that I pulled out of the trash from a previous project that we had antiquing wax on, and I just went over this wood and just kind of kept it light. Now I'm going to take my trees and we're just going to glue them down on here. We are going to just randomly make this whole piece of wood kind of be a fun little Christmas tree farm. Take your trees. I've got 3 of them that are about the same height as my kind of primary trees, if you will. And now we're just going to fill in. We're going to fill in and make this little Christmas tree lot on this piece of wood. And you're going to just kind of start from front to back. You're going to put the taller ones kind of, make them be your showcase pieces, and then fill in with some maybe medium-sized trees in the back. And then you're going to add some other trees in the front and just kind of squish them around. You're going to see very shortly here kind of a front side of this, but this is just kind of a top side view of it, just so you get an idea. You are literally just kind of filling in spaces. How cute is this? I love this so much. This is the perfect size for a bathroom, a nightstand, a great table. Super cute. Now for this next DIY, we're going to take 2 of those chalkboard tags that you can pick up from Dollar Tree, some snowflakes from Dollar Tree, and I have some Cricut snowflake vinyl decals that I made. You could certainly use stickers for this as well. Either one will work. Now for my snowflakes, I'm just going to use some antiquing wax from Waverly, and we're just going to kind of color this in. Now if you wanted to use your favorite kind of paint or your favorite colors, by all means, definitely do it. I've been doing a lot of this kind of black and white and buffalo check kind of thing for Christmas DIYs lately, but it's really funny because a lot of my decor in my house, especially for this season, is not these color combos. My Christmas decor is very like red and white and woodland, I guess, with flock trees and stuff. It's funny to me. But go ahead and take your snowflakes and some nice long pieces of twine, and you're just going to thread these through kind of like so. And you can either glue those snowflakes down so they don't move, or you can keep them. That way they're just kind of wispy and moving around. I ended up keeping mine kind of wispy. And then for the decals, again, I had these snowflake decals that were left over from a previous project. I'm just going to go ahead and just add these to my chalkboard. Now, if you don't have a Cricut, you could obviously use snowflake stickers for this, but how cute is this? Such a cute little piece of decor. You could actually hang this on a doorknob as well for like an entry to a bedroom. It is the perfect size for that, and it's so cute. Now this next DIY, we're going to create a candle, and we're going to be doing it with this faux birch wrap. I don't know how else to say this or what to call it. This wrap I picked up at a store called Bargain Hunt. I just happened to find it on the shelf. I wish I would have grabbed like 10 of them. It is kind of like, it's not really wrapping paper because it's foamy. I don't know how to describe this other than I'm just happy that I grabbed it. And I'm going to be taking this kind of container that I picked up from Dollar Tree that has a lid on it. I've had it for a little while, and we're going to cut it down to size. We're going to cut it down to size. That way I can glue it onto the back side, or to the, I guess we're going to glue it to the container. Now, I did trim it up a little bit because it was a little bit wider than the actual container itself. By the way, I'm not going to be using that lid. I'm just going to push that lid aside, maybe use it for something else. We're going to take our faux birch wrap and we're going to wrap it around this jar. I am going to be using some hot glue for this, and we're just going to roll this and we're going to hold it into place. Now, I did trim that down, as obviously it was still a little wide. Then for our candle wax, just go ahead and put that on the stove, bring it to a boil, carefully pour it into your container. How cute is this candle. I'm obsessed with this little candle. I love the way it turned out. For this first DIY, we're going to take this bottle cap ornament and a jar that I picked up from Dollar Tree, and we're going to kind of remove all of the embellishments on the ornament. You're going to remove the hangers and put those aside, and the embellishments, you're going to put that aside as well. We are going to end up using those for this DIY. Take your jar, whatever jar you get from Dollar Tree, and you want to make sure that it fits within the lid, fits within the bottle cap ornament. And this one is almost a perfect fit, which was really, really exciting. Now, you are going to make that bottle cap become the lid. So I'm going to add some hot glue onto the lid here. I'm using the hot glue just because it's kind of a quick and easy way to do DIYs, especially on camera like this. If you wanted this to be more permanent, I do recommend you using a super glue, E6000, something like this. Take your jar, and now you're going to add some embellishment. I just grabbed a festive kind of red and white striped ribbon here. I'm just tying it around the neck. And then for those little pieces that we took off at the beginning, we're going to add those back. We're going to put those kind of around the bow area. We're going to be putting them on the back side of the kind of ribbon part, or I guess it's the bow part of the bow, the round parts. But anyway, we are going to go through, and as you can see, I'm just kind of cutting each piece and putting it behind there. And then for the center, we're not going to forget that cute little pine cone. Now, I did take my jar. As you can see, the lid comes off and on very, very easily. I filled it up with peppermints, and now this is a great little gift idea for a neighbor or a coworker. Thought that this was super, super cute. This next DIY I am obsessed with. This is a plastic candy jar that you can pick up from Dollar Tree or Family Dollar. I've seen these at Dollar Tree before just recently, so definitely be on the lookout. If you can't find them at Dollar Tree, then definitely go to Family Dollar. They have them in 3 different colors. I'm going to take mine, and after I remove the tag, I am going to pop a hole in the side of mine on the back side, just using my heat tool there. Now, a heat tool is great to have in your crafting arsenal. However, a heat tool or wood burning tool can be extremely hot. So as soon as I'm done with mine, I put it away. I have like a little plate that's kind of sitting off of my workstation that I unplug and put it on. That way it can sit, it can cool, because you don't want to burn yourself. Now, grab one of these little light string sets and make sure it works. Put some batteries in it, of course, and then put the lid back on your candy jar. And then you're going to feed your string lights down through that hole in the back, and you're going to add them all. Look how cute this is. This is so adorable. I love this so, so much. Now, this next DIY is also going to be extremely easy. They have these great frames at Dollar Tree that are kind of galvanized metal, and then they have these clips that are built in. And you're going to take also a wooden snowflake ornament from Dollar Tree and a ribbon of your own kind of choosing, any kind of bow, and you're going to paint your snowflake. Now, I'm using a Waverly chalk paint for this one. You can paint this any color you want. I just loved this kind of ivory color from Waverly. I loved the coverage on it. I also loved the fact that it's going to kind of be this kind of off-white, which kind of lends to the kind of farmhouse, I guess, chicness of this and the frame and everything. If you wanted to make this really, really pop, you could definitely do a darker color ornament. You know me in navy blue. I literally almost did a navy blue snowflake, but believe it or not, I did not have a ribbon that I thought would coordinate well enough with this. So I decided not to go ahead and do that and go with the white. And besides, how many blue snowflakes do you see anyway? So we're going to keep painting this. And this one I just made sure I got on the edges and the sides and everything, because you do want to make sure you have really good coverage, obviously. And again, I just did one coat on this. I would say I probably did a pretty heavy coat, and that's the beauty of working with chalk paint, especially the Waverly products, which I do really, really love. It just makes it super, super easy to, just to kind of have fun and paint and decorate it up. Now, take your heat gun, if you're impatient like I am, let it dry, and then clip your snowflake into your frame just like this. The snowflakes are a perfect fit. These snowflakes come in a package from Dollar Tree. I want to say there's like 5 or 6 of them or 8 of them. It seems like they change the amount every year, and it gets lower and lower every year. Hello, Dollar Tree. We are noticing you. And then for that little bow that I've got there, you can just add this however you want. For me, I wanted to add my bow to the actual kind of clip. And as you can see, this is fantastic. This would be so great on a side table, on a nightstand. I love the way that these turned out. Now, this next DIY could not be easier. These great fluffy ornaments from Dollar Tree that look like wreaths. They also kind of look like dog toys to me with the, because the wreath, I don't know. But take your candles of choice, mine are red, and go ahead and remove that plastic that's kind of on the, I guess it's the label. And they will actually remove pretty easily once you find where it starts. And then it leaves very, very little residual like glue. Just wipe it off with a cloth and some cleanser. That's all I did. Now, for your ornaments, you're going to take these and you're just going to trim these down because you're going to remove the hanger that's on there. That's all I'm kind of doing here. And then for the embellishments, you're just going to kind of squish them off to one side. You're not going to remove them though. And then you're just going to drop them down over top of your candle holders like so. How easy is this? And this DIY is done. You've got some really cute candle holders for the holidays. Now, Dollar Tree is selling these little tiny frames. They come in silver, they come in gold, they come in copper, and I really like these. And what I like about them is that they have a glass insert. That's what you're going to be looking for. Grab some of your favorite stickers. My stickers happen to have come from Hobby Lobby, but again, you can get stickers from anywhere, including Dollar Tree. Now, you're going to go ahead and remove all of the kind of innards of the frame and the little tabs that are on the frame as well. I used pliers for the first one, and then I ended up being able to remove them by hand for the second one. So if you don't have a pair of pliers, whatever, don't worry about it. You could literally pull these out with your fingers. Now the glass is pushed aside. I am going to go ahead and just add some glue right on the inside edge of the frame. And I'm not adding a whole lot. I'm actually kind of going very, very liberally with the glue, which if you know me, you know that that's not very odd. That's not very unique, I guess, because I like glue. I use a lot of glue. So you're going to add your frame back in there, your glass back into the frame, and then you're going to embellish with whatever your favorite stickers are. Now, I am going to use this set of stickers first because I love these kind of vintagey trees, and I think that this would be super, super cute. Now, once you've got your frame all set up, then you're going to add your ribbon. I have that white faux leather ribbon. I've had it forever and I've been trying to figure out something to do with it. And this was perfect because it's got that silky, shiny, kind of beautiful leather look on these little frames, and it really, really elevates the way that these looks. Now, I just added some glue to the back of my frame and just very simply made these. I made 2 of them, and when you see them on the tree, how adorable are these? Especially with the light coming through from the Christmas tree in the background. I am obsessed. Now, if you know me, you know I love nutcrackers, and I found these unfinished wood nutcrackers. I found one at Family Dollar, one was at Dollar Plus, or Dollar Tree in the Plus section, and they were both $3 each, and I thought they were perfection. Now, I took mine outside and I spray painted them with my Rust-Oleum 2 times the coverage black matte spray paint, which I love so much. I made some smaller versions of these last year and really loved the way that they turned out. And as you can see, this is the easiest DIY. They look so chic, so high-end. I really love them. Right, this next DIY is going to be also super, super easy. I have these Christmas trees that are kind of 3D trees, and I picked these up. These either came from Dollar General or from Family Dollar, and I've had these for, I got them last year, and I used a couple of them last year as well in some different DIYs, and for this year I thought, you know what, I want to keep it very, very simple and just very, very classic. So I'm going to take these trees and kind of put them together. This one is giving me a hard time. And for the third one here, we're going to put this one together. It fights a little bit at the beginning, but as you can see, they do all come together. And now I've got 3 trees to take outside and spray paint. I'm using my Rust-Oleum metallic spray paint. Keeping this very, very simple, just spray painting these trees, making sure that I've got good coverage on all sides, making sure that, it's going to look adorable. And speaking of adorable, how cute are these? I love the way that these turned out. I'm not sure if you've seen these yet at your Dollar Tree store, but these are DIY ornaments, and then these are rub-on transfers. How easy could this be? And for the rub-on transfers, these are just like inspirational word rub-on transfers. There's no they're not Christmas themed by any means, but there are words like joy and spirit and family and love and things like that I thought could be really perfect for an ornament. And the little DIY ornaments that you can pick up, these were in the Crafter Square section at my store, but then they also had some overflow in the regular Christmas ornament kind of area. And then I'm adding buffalo check ribbon, of course, because I'm doing all black and white. But I'm just going to go through my wording here and figure out which words I want. Now, the only thing that I will recommend is that these words are very, very close together. So if you can find some words that, could join together and you may be able to have 2 words, I would recommend doing that for sure. I ended up cutting out some individual words and then just kind of overlaying them on my ornaments. Now, you can do this however you want. I'm keeping mine very, very simple. I am taking my letters here, or my rub-on transfer word, and this one is joy. And I'm just going to kind of trim it down and then take it, kind of figure out where your placement's going to be on your ornament, peel it away from the backing there, and then just add it to your ornament. Now, for these, because this is a curved surface, typically I would use like a credit card or something like that to help kind of rub on and transfer this. But I decided to just use my fingers, and I'm just going to use my fingernail. Now, the great thing about this too is that as you are rubbing these, especially when you're using the black rub-on transfers like this, they kind of turn a little bit of a gray color. So you start to see where the color is really transferring, or the rub-on is transferring onto your ornament. And then once you've got that kind of completely transferred over, then all you have to do is peel away that backing that is on there. And you'll see me do this here in just a sec. And how cute is this? Like, I'm going to add also the word spirit, and we're going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to trim up the kind of excess of the plastic here, and also I cut the end of my P in the word spirit a little funky, so we're going to trim that up. And then again, just totally repeating that same process. Add some ribbon. In this case, I'm going to add some ribbon just to use these as hangers. I'm going to cut one long piece into halves. That way I have a piece of ribbon for each one of my ornaments that is perfect in length. And then for these, I'm just going to kind of bring the ends to the end, and then I'm going to tie them off in a knot, keeping it very, very simple. No need to do anything crazy. If you want, feel free to go crazy, of course, or you can even just skip this step and just use regular ornament hangers. Now I am going to, I guess, go a little crazy here, and I'm going to take a bow and I'm actually going to glue it to the end of the ornament, or the end of the ribbon that is kind of right at the ornament hanger, to make it kind of look like it's, a little higher end ornament. Like maybe you got this at I was going to say Dollar Tree, but maybe somewhere nicer. And as you can see, they're super, super cute. And I love the way that these look, especially on my little tiny display Christmas tree here. And again, make them any way that you want. And then again, the great thing about those DIY ornaments is you could use stickers for these. You don't have to use rub-on transfers, or maybe you can't find the rub-on transfers at your Dollar Tree store. And you can use stickers. They're also super, super easy to do. And again, you're going to make these your own. You're going to personalize these. I'm taking these stickers and I'm literally just adding them to these ornaments, working my way all the way around. Dollar Tree has so many cute sticker options. These did come from Hobby Lobby, as I said earlier, but you can really make some fun ornaments with stickers. So, so easy. Now, my last DIY in today's video is this canvas bag. It's so funny. These bags, I called it a canvas bag. It looks like it's burlap bag. It's not either one of those. It's actually kind of a plastic bag. There may be like a little bit of burlap or something on the outside of this, but this is pretty much a plastic bag. Now, this is some HTV vinyl that I picked up from Amazon, and the packaging that I grabbed is so, so cute. There's so many good transfers, and I will link this in my bio. Now, the key to this is slow, low heat, because you will melt this sucker and you will melt this bag. Go really, really slow. I've got my little baby iron here. It's just got one setting, and I'm just making sure that I'm kind of, doing this in between, and as you can see, it will work. And how cute is this? How cute would this be to give to a neighbor filled with all kinds of holiday goodies? First DIY, I'm going to take these Merry ornaments, or these ornaments that I picked up from Walmart, and we are going to create a very cool sign. I'm also using this piece of scrap wood that I picked up from Walmart. Now, go ahead and put your letters aside for right now, because we are going to paint up our wood pieces. Now, this wood piece, again, did come from Crafter's Square. I just grabbed some ivory chalk paint, and I am just going to give this 2 coats. I'm going to use my heat gun to kind of speed things up a little bit. I am going to take my ornaments, and we are going to remove those eye hooks that are in the top of those ornaments. Now, you can take a very simple screwdriver, just kind of twist, and they will come out. For some reason, my finger strength wasn't there, or they were in here really, really good. So I just grabbed the screwdriver. Either one will totally work. Save those eye hooks, though, for a future project. Go ahead and lay out your letters, kind of figure out your spacing, and then this is so simple. All you're doing is gluing these directly down. Now, because I did kind of lay these out, I already kind of know where they're going to be going, and obviously you can see that I've got them lined up on the wood there, so it makes it really, really easy to do this. Now, the holes at the top, totally optional. If you wanted to fill those in and then repaint your letters, you could. Mine is going to go up on a very high bookshelf, so you're not even going to see that there were those kind of eye hooks at the top of it. Again, if it bothers you, get some wood filler, fill it in, repaint your letters, and that gives you even more variety, because you can make this, again, kind of any color that you want to. And then once you've got this all laid out, you've got the cutest little sign. I love the way this looks. It's holiday cheer. It makes me feel merry, and I love the way this looks. All right, guys, thank you so much. I really am excited to tell you about Pippi Shell's TV wall mount system, which is what you see back here that is holding up my TV. Now, this is a stable TV and monitor solution for literally all of your entertainment needs. I know for me personally, and probably for you as well, having every single inch of crafting space available in your craft room or in your DIY room is super, super important. And I know it was super important to me. Now, I bought a brand new TV, I would say probably about 6 months ago, for this space, and unfortunately the stand that it came on was just really wide. It was much wider than I anticipated. It took up a lot of space. You can see on top of the bookshelf here, I have somewhat limited space, and the way that this stand was, it really limited on where I could put it but also what I could do with this space around the TV. So I know when I started exploring various TV wall mounts, Pippi Shell came up as an Amazon bestseller. And when I started looking into it, I could see that it had nearly 100,000 reviews, and it also had a very high rating, which for me was really, really important. Pippi Shell's mounts are tested to be stable and safe. And for me personally, this is my first house. I wanted to be sure that I'm adding items that are valuable to my home that are not going to cause me any kind of issues. So my Pippi Shell TV mount has the ability to rotate 360 degrees, and it is the perfect enhancement to my craft room and my entertainment experience. Now, the other thing I should mention is that this is extremely easy to install. And if for any reason during the installation process you run into any kind of issues at all, there's a US-based customer service team that can help you with any questions that you might have. Now, if you want to check this out for yourself, maybe you've got a TV like this in your craft room that you want to have elevated up, or maybe you've even got a larger TV that you want to have mounted. Maybe you're even looking for something as a cool Christmas gift for somebody. There's a link in my description box below. The Pippi Shell TV mount systems are awesome. I'm in love with it. I'm so glad that it's up there, and I look forward to working with them in the future. Now, let's get back to some more DIYs. Now for this next DIY, we're going to take these Dollar Tree candy bowls, these fluted bowls. I have 4 of them, and we're going to glue 2 of them together like you see here. Now, you probably already have an idea what I'm making because I know that several creators have done these. I fell in love with these. I saw them on Bargain Bethany's YouTube channel and just fell in love with them. Props to you, Bargain Bethany. This is a tribute recreation of one of your projects for sure. And I'm just going to go ahead and also create a little hole in the side of mine because that is how I'm going to feed my lights in and out. Now, if you don't want to put a hole in it, you certainly don't have to put a hole in it. You could just glue your light strand in between your 2 pieces, but I don't want to do that. So that's why I'm putting a hole in it. And also the hole there allows me to reuse my string lights for something else, or change out the batteries, or, do whatever I want with it. It's my DIY, right? We're going to take the other end of it and we are going to add additional hot glue. If you're wanting to put this outside and maybe you live in a climate that isn't quite as mild as where I'm at, then you may want to use like an E6000 or super glue. Hot glue works totally fine here in the ATL for me. And we're just adding 2 additional fluted bowls onto either side, or an additional fluted bowl on either side. Doesn't it look like a piece of candy? Super, super festive, super, super fun. Love the bright pink color. And then we're going to add a little bit of trim to it. Now, I figured since this is going to be sitting outside on my front porch, that I thought this would be perfect to just use this white rope. This white rope is actually from the automotive section in Dollar Tree. So total easy, very, very easy. You get like, I think 75 feet or something like that for $1.25. Great value. This is where those string lights come in super, super handy, because now all I have to do is feed them through that hole that I created with my wood burning tool. Now, again, if you don't want to, if you don't feel this is necessary, then don't do it. Don't do it. Make sure you have a space where you can feed your lights in and out, wrap your lights around the outside. Either one is totally fine with you, but I just love how bright and sparkly and pretty this is and how it lights up. This is so cute. It looks so cute on my front porch. I am in love with this. Now, this next idea I saw on TikTok, Kelly created this. She's also on Instagram. I fell in love with it. I took a Dollar Tree plastic tray. I took 5 of these gingerbread ornaments. I only actually used 4 of them. And then I have this house ornament. They all go together. They're all super cute. The ornaments came from Walmart, by the way. And they were only 98 cents each. First thing you're going to want to do, remove the hanging kind of stems from the ornaments, because you are going to be using these as feet of your tray. And then for the house, go ahead and just remove that because you're not going to need it. For your plastic tray, go ahead and get that prepped and ready to go. And then you're simply going to add some hot glue onto the top of your gingerbread men, and you are going to create a cookie stand with this. This is so stinking cute. I could not believe how cute this was. Props to Kelly again for creating this very cute idea. As soon as I saw it on TikTok, I immediately sent her a message and was like, guess what? I'm going to recreate this, and I totally am going to give you a shout out on my channel because I thought it was so cute. Now, for your gingerbread, guys, go ahead and hold them into place. You're just going to hold them for a few minutes. It's not really that bad. I would say it's probably not even a minute. And you're just going to kind of let them set up. And then once that does, you're going to repeat that with the third one and the fourth one. You could put another one in the middle if you wanted to, totally optional. And then you're going to stand this up. Now for the lid that you're going to use to cover your cookies, you're going to take a Dollar Tree fluted bowl or any garden bowl, anything that fits within your tray. Going to remove that sticker because there's always a pesky sticker on a Dollar Tree item. And we're going to glue our house down. That is our handle. Hello, cute, adorable cookie tray. I'm obsessed. Kelly creates. Props to you. This was such a fun idea. It's super festive and I love it. For this next DIY, we're going to grab a piece of scrapbook paper. I have this little wooden car that I picked up from Hobby Lobby and some of these wreaths. Now, this scrapbook paper is fun. It is kind of a road trip inspired, and it reminded me of like going home to grandma's house for Christmas time. Definitely something that I miss. I lost my grandparents in 2017, but I definitely still think about them, especially during the holidays. I'm going to take this wood palette. We are going to add our Elmer's purple glue onto this. I'm going to add a generous amount, as you can tell here. And we are going to glue that scrapbook paper down. Now, I love personally working with this Elmer's purple glue. It makes it very, very easy. And I don't know, I like it. It reminds me of like playing with glue as a kid. And I don't know if you can eat glue still or not. I'm pretty sure I did when I was a kid. Definitely don't eat it if you're a kid and you're watching this video. We're going to take our paper here, our scrapbook paper, and now we're just going to trim around our palette, and we're going to get this ready. Now for those pieces there, because we did use a palette here, I am going to take my little cutting board here that I have, and or cutting mat, and then I'm going to take an X-Acto knife, and we're going to take our X-Acto knife, and we are just going to start to kind of cut away that excess paper there, because this is a palette, and I wanted to be able to see the palette. That was part of the idea of kind of choosing that palette. So just take your X-Acto knife and just kind of trim away, get rid of any of those excess pieces of scrapbook paper. That way it really exposes the kind of palette. And the great thing about this particular scrapbook paper also is that because it's very similar in color to my palette piece, I don't have to worry about painting it, which is definitely a plus. Now, I think this is also a good time for me to let you guys know, of course, that if you like this video today, please give me a thumbs up and a like. That definitely helps my channel so much. Also, if you're currently not a subscriber, hopefully you will hang out and become a subscriber as well. And I love to create all kinds of really fun things like this. So now that we've got our palette ready, it is time to start taking care of our car. Now, you know me, and you know blue. Blue is my favorite. I've got a blue car now. So we're going to paint up our car, and we're going to do it with this nautical blue color that I picked up from Waverly. We're going to go ahead and wipe off the excess. That way it almost gives it a denim kind of a look. And for this particular car, because it does have these kind of outlines already of the details within the car, you can take a Sharpie like I'm doing here. You could do a paint pen. You could certainly do a combo, and you can just trace right back through those. And when you do that, as you can see, it really gives you a lot of detail. Now, I didn't have a fine point like paint marker when I was doing this, which is why I just opted for the Sharpie. And as you can see there with the paper towel on the side there, I'm just kind of wiping off kind of the excess. And it actually works out really, really good. I was super, super happy with this as I was kind of going along. And all I'm doing again is just simply tracing the outline. I love how simple and how easy it makes it. And it really does kind of enhance the design of it. And it makes it look like I'm like not a Picasso, but you know, like I kind of know what I'm doing. I feel important. Now I'm gonna go ahead and just take some other darker paint and just kind of brush it across there just to give it a little bit of dimension. Now I'm going to paint in my tires. We're gonna paint in the tail lights of the truck or the car here. And we're just going to give this as much detail as possible. And the great thing about this, obviously, is that this is totally up to you. So if you wanted to just keep your car very normal and just paint it all one color, absolutely, totally up to you. That's the beauty of a DIY, right? You can really make it your own and DIY it to what you feel is the best. So once again, just kind of adding the detail of the tail lights there on the truck. And then I'm going to take some glue. We're going to add some hot glue to the back of that truck, that side that is unpainted. And we're going to glue that down in the center of our palette after we add a little bit more glue to the top piece there because I felt like I didn't have quite enough glue. I'm going to center this down on top of my scrapbook paper and on top of my palette. And once that has a good adhesion to it and I feel good about that, now we're going to add our decorative wreath piece. Once again, just adding some hot glue right to the back of that and adding it to the center of our car. I have an SUV now and I would love to put a Christmas wreath on the front of it. Haven't done it quite yet. How cute is this? It just reminds me of like road trips and family and holiday fun. And I thought this was super, super adorable. Now this next DIY, I'm going to incorporate these houses that my friend Norma sent me from Orlando. These are from July 4th, and I've had these for quite a while. I have been wanting to do something with them, and when I found my little tiered tray at Dollar Tree, I knew exactly what I wanted to do with these for the holidays. Now, I love the roof line. I love everything about these. I even think they're pretty festive, honestly, the way that they are. But I did want to make them a little more Christmassy. And since I have this great batch of scrapbook paper, I thought it would be really fun to just kind of create some cozy little Christmas cottages, if you will. And we're going to use our favorite glue stick as well. Now, go through your pad and pick out some scrapbook paper. You could certainly do all that matches. I went with some that kind of blend and all go together, if you will. And I'm just going to take my little house shape here and we're just going to trace this. Now, I'm doing it on the center of the paper, or at least I was going to. And then I decided to kind of move it over to one side. That way I could save some of these pieces of scrapbook paper. I was going to say totally up to you, of course. Sometimes when you center your piece, depending on what the design is on your scrapbook paper, you do kind of get a better option for your item that you're kind of tracing. So once I've got all three of those kind of house shapes all set up and ready to go, then you can start cutting them up. You can see where I kind of messed up one there a little bit, not a big deal though. And for the roof line there, you're not even going to really worry about that. It's kind of funny the way that these work out. I guess it's not funny. I guess it's geometry, or, I guess it's geometry. Is it geometry? Let me know in the comments below. But go ahead and just add your glue stick, and then you're going to glue your paper right onto your little houses. Get rid of any of the kind of excess glue that might be oozing out. How adorable and cute are these? Now, I added them to my Dollar Tree tier tray. Super, super cute. Love the way that they turned out. A garland that we're going to be creating with some Dollar Tree ornaments. You can grab these packages of ornaments, grab a big bowl and just dump your ornaments inside that bowl. this just really prevents them from rolling around on you. Now, for the ends here where the hanger part is, you're going to clip those off. A pair of wire cutters, I have lineman pliers here, anything like that will work because these are plastic. So that's going to work out well. Now, you want to turn your ornaments into beads, and the way that you're going to do that is by taking a wood burning tool, and you're just going to go into the opposite side of this, kind of creating an ornament bead. You'll want to do this in a well-ventilated area. Of course, I had my windows open, I had my ceiling fan on, and had a lot of breeze. I actually have 2 windows in my little craft room space, which is really, really great for cross breeze. But anyway, you're going to do this back through all of those ornaments, and you're going to want to be careful because obviously this thing is hot. This is a wood burning tool I picked up on Amazon. I've got one linked in my store if you want to check it out. Go ahead and just thread your beads using any kind of twine. With this particular style that I'm doing, you're not really going to see the twine, so you could use whatever you really wanted to. And you're just going to make this as long as you have ornaments for. And then when you get to the end of this, you're going to tie a very simple knot and then just kind of trim that down. I'm using mine kind of as my photography backdrop until I've set my tree up, but pretty cute. I really love this. Now, this next DIY is pretty simple and very, very cute, if I do say so myself. I grabbed 3 of these little house frames that you can pick up from Dollar Tree. I also have some scrapbook paper. This little thing of scrapbook paper came from Five Below, by the way. And I also have those little ornamental wreaths. I'm going to go ahead and just find a piece of scrapbook paper that I like, and I'm going to put this same color in all 3 of the frames. Pretty easy peasy, just kind of keeping it almost like it's a photograph. And we are going to set all of these up. And then for the little wreaths, they are on like little kind of metallic hangers. So I just trimmed those off, and then we're just going to glue them all to the center of each house. I think these could be very cute placemats or place cards at your dinner table. I love just how vibrant and fun they are. Lots of different uses for these. This is a super easy DIY, but I do think a lot of these can be very impactful. Grab some of your favorite ribbon. I've got this buffalo check. I've got a fillable ornament, and then I've got those gold jingle bells. I loved the red writing that was on this ornament. I'm going to go ahead and just fill it up with my jingle bells. Very, very easy. And you will use the entire package. And then just simply take a bow of any kind. I just simply made a bow using my buffalo checked ribbon there, trimmed it up a little bit, and then I glued it actually on the side of the ornament hanger. Can you imagine a tree with a bunch of these? I think that this is super, super cute. Now, if you've seen these candlesticks at Dollar Tree, grab them. Also grab these metal orbs. I grabbed 2 that were alike. Now, for my candlesticks, I'm going to remove all of the tags and stuff, of course. And then we're going to grab the absolute strongest pair of clippers that you can find. This is going to be hard. It looks really easy because I sped up the film here, but this took some oomph to get these separated. And what you're wanting to do is separating the base and the top of where the candle holder kind of goes in. And then you're going to take a combo of super glue and hot glue, and you are going to hold this into place, and you're going to glue this down. Now, if you cut this correctly, you will have a little bit of a divot in the bottom, which will allow those to stand up kind of like so. By the way, I apologize. My camera is doing some kind of weird shaky thing. It will do it throughout the video, so try to ignore it. Again, so sorry. I took the top of the candle piece here, and now again, using that combo of hot glue and then also adding some super glue to that, we are going to glue these together like so. Now, I just took mine outside, spray painted them this copper color or this bronzy color, and really, really love the way that these looked. Here's a better picture of how they are on my mantle right now. I'm in love with these. I love them so much. I think I should be a candle creator or something. All right, this next DIY is going to incorporate some scrapbook paper, also some Dollar Tree signs, and I've also got some wooden snowflakes that you don't see in the kind of photo or the video here right now, but you'll see them come up. You'll see several of them come up. So go ahead and separate whatever sign you're going to use. My particular sign had this kind of raised leaf in the center, and I'm going to use that foam block. If you didn't have those, you could use those small Dollar Tree cubes. Either one is totally cool. Find a piece of your favorite scrapbook paper. I'm going to take that and I'm going to glue it down to the back. My sprayer for my glue is not working correctly, so I'm just going to use the sponge. The sponge technique worked out pretty well. Once I've got that glued down, then I'm just going to go ahead and trim away any of the excess. I'm going to add my back to this, and then we are going to take our little foam piece. Now, I only need a small piece because I'm using one of these snowflake ornaments that you can pick up from Dollar Tree. I'm going to glue my foam piece on the back of it, and we are going to just add this to the center of our box. Super, super cute, but I did want to top it off with a bow, and we're going to make another one. We're going to make a set. Once again, using another Dollar Tree sign. This one kind of has a metallic back. By the way, this sign, if you've probably seen this before, this is actually the back side. The front side kind of has those Scrabble letters on it. I love it because you can do multiple things with them, and you have two different signs, really. Glue your snowflake again in the center like so, and then add your bow to the top. Super, super cute. Now, the camera still was messing up some, so I did decide to make a third one for you. Camera, I think, has worked itself out. And just doing the same exact thing. Going through, adding glue to the back, adding your favorite piece of scrapbook paper. I'm using something that's all consistent so everything matches, kind of trimming away all of the excess there, and just making sure you have total cuteness. And I'm using frames also that I don't have to paint. Again, I had a small piece of my foam left over, so I'm going to stain up another wood snowflake using the antiquing wax from Waverly, and just glue it in the middle, add a bow, and look at the little trio of signs that I've created. These would be so cute in a bathroom. I love them. Another super, super easy DIY. I think you could do this with the kids. I grabbed these ornaments that I picked up from Hobby Lobby. If you don't have ornaments like this, go to the backyard, grab a tree, chop it down at an angle, drill a hole in it, add some twine, boom, you've got some cute, cute ornament bases. I just simply added these Dollar Tree stickers to them. I made sure that I had a Dollar Tree sticker on each side of the ornament. That way, when it was hanging on the tree, you would be sure to see it from both sides. And then again, I just took that buffalo checked ribbon that I love so much. I created some tiny little bows with them and glued them on top. Once my tree is set up, these will be the first thing that is going on my tree. I think they're super, super cute and super, super easy. Another easy way to decorate your tree is to grab some of these unfinished lanterns from Dollar Tree. These are in the Crafter Square section. Go ahead and grab one of these kind of scatter bags that's just these random little pieces, and you're going to pop your lights out. Not only are you going to pop your lights out, but you're also going to take the twine that is in the top of them, and you're going to get rid of that. Now, I took mine outside and spray painted them red, candy apple red from Rust-Oleum. Love it. And then we are going to add hangers back to these, and I'm going to do that using this twine. Now, the twine is a little challenging, I'm going to tell you, because you've got to be able to put it in the hole at the top there, and it's a tiny little hole, but also just it's awkward to be able to access it. So, believe it or not, took my twine, tied it in a knot at the end of it, tied it in a double knot because this was kind of a thinner twine. And I took a skewer. And added just a little tiny bit of glue to the end of it, and took my twine and literally fed the skewer up to the top. Now, this random bag of scatter pieces, I imagine that this is like what you find on the floor at Dollar Tree in their warehouse, because it is literally just random pieces of floral things that we've all seen on Dollar Tree florals. I grabbed my favorite, and I just started kind of creating a little arrangement on the top and added those lights back. How cute is this? I would love to see an entire tree decorated with all of these. Right, this one I'm really, really excited about. And I grabbed two picture frames. I grabbed these ballerina ornaments that I thought were so precious. And then I have sheet music from Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairies, which is from the ballet The Nutcracker, one of my favorites, especially during the holidays. Take your frame, take all of the stuff out, put it aside. You definitely will be using all of that. Now, my sheet music, I just picked this up on Amazon, but you can find a lot of free printables for sheet music and stuff online. So definitely use the Google if you don't want to purchase a set of sheet music. I'm taking the glass and I'm using the glass as my template, and I'm just cutting out my sheet music. Now, of course, I had to have the title in at least one of my frame creations that I'm doing. Adding glue to the back of the frame here, very, very easy. And I upgraded, by the way, to the little sponge and some Elmer's instead of the spray. And then put the glass back in and then added that sheet music piece back in there as well. And these are pretty cute just as they are, but take your little ballerinas and you're going to clip off the hanger part of that, because these aren't going to be hanging. They are going to be kind of dancing throughout the sheet music. So add some glue on there too, and you've got a very, very cute decor piece that I think could be done for any time of the year. I think that these would be really, really adorable in a little girl's room or a nursery. I love them so much. All right, everybody, right now you want to run to the garden section at Dollar Tree, look for this little hanging pot gnome, and then I grabbed these little light pendants from, I believe they came from Hobby Lobby. Take a piece of sandpaper. You're going to go ahead and just sand your gnome, because we're turning him into a Santa Claus, and we are going to make sure that Santa has his red overalls on, because I feel like Santa always wears red overalls even when he's off. And in this case, Santa is going to decorate his own house right now. He's hanging some Christmas lights, or getting ready to. And first, we're going to decorate up our gnome and make him look like Santa Claus. So I literally am just going through and kind of repainting everything. Repainting the ladder, repainting his shirt in my favorite color of blue, by the way. And then just making sure that the ladder and everything is nice and vibrant. Now we are going to take a twine piece, this red and white striped twine that I am kind of obsessed with in this video. And I'm taking those little light pendants and just tying them off onto that twine and creating a string of lights that kind of looks like this. And now we got to give Santa the lights so he can hang them up on the house. And there was a little shovel in the gnome's hand. I just put a Christmas light on top of that. And now we're going to take these Christmas lights and we are just going to string them all around Santa, because he's getting himself twisted up in all these lights. And, that's the way he does it, because he's got to decorate. He wants to get his house ready before he's out delivering presents. How cute is this on the side of a pot or a planter? But how cute would this be to give to a neighbor? Dollar Tree mug, maybe put some candies or chocolates in it. Super, super happy with this one. Love the way it turned out. Speaking of cuteness, this frame came from Goodwill. I love this frame. I loved what was so different and unique about it. The price, $3.09, maybe a little high for a frame, Goodwill, but I loved the holes that were here, and I thought that this could be really fun for ribbon or something. So the frame, I did actually take it outside and spray paint it silver. It was originally silver when I got it, and now I'm just kind of billowing this tube ribbon that you can get from Dollar Tree and just going through the frame itself. And with this kind of ribbon, this tube ribbon, you don't want to pull this real tight, because if you do, it's just not going to give that fun kind of billowy look that I am going for. So as you can see here, I've kind of worked my way around, tied it off. I added my favorite photo. This is my grandparents, and love how this turned out. Such a cute holiday frame, and it was $3. Now for this next DIY, we're going to take this home sign that I picked up from Dollar Tree in the Crafter Square section, and then also this fat quarter, I think that's what this is called, of fabric also came from Dollar Tree. I loved this kind of flannel, and we've got some beads, some wood beads that came from Garland's, red, black, and white. I am using a makeup sponge. Don't know why I used a makeup sponge for this. I should have just used one of my larger foam brushes. I think I was being lazy and I just reached over and the makeup sponges were there. It does work. It takes a little longer to do this, but after you've got it covered, go ahead and take a cloth of some kind. I have my washcloth. That is my designated kind of antiquing wax cloth, and I'm just going to go over my sign and just kind of even everything out, kind of take away some of the heavier parts, and really just get this ready for the next step. And by the way, what a mess my work surface is, right? This is a silicone work mat, and super, super easy. All you have to do is spray some kind of cleaning chemical or something. I actually just put hand sanitizer on it and just wiped it away. I am going to link that actually this time in my Amazon store below. But you're going to take your fabric now and you're going to unroll this. This is a very generous size, so you're not going to need all of this. You're only going to need a small portion of this. Go ahead and iron it out if you want to. I just used my Easy Press, and then we're going to take half of that and we are going to cut it out. I'm just using my sign to trace it, and then you're just going to cut it out right along the edge there. Now, if you go a little bit inside that line, it's actually totally fine, because as you can see, there's plenty of wood area here where if you cut it a little short, it's not going to be a big deal. How cute is this? Love the way that flannel pops against that wood. I might have gone a little bit lighter with the antiquing wax, but overall, very, very happy. Taking my beads here and just creating a hanger for my sign itself. Just kind of stringing the colors along the way that I think that they would look best for this sign. Glued it to the back. Very, very easy to do. And when it's all done, you've got the cutest home decor sign. I love this for the holidays and think that it is super, super cute. This next DIY is so easy. Like, I think Megan from Glue Guns N' Roses says, easy peasy lemon squeezy, and this is definitely in that category. I love these round vases from Dollar Tree. I also love this gold kind of ribbon from Dollar Tree. It's actually plastic. There's no adhesive or anything on this, and what I like about it is because it is so flexible, anything with a curvature on it, kind of like the vase that I'm using, it fits really, really good, and I really like the way that this just looks on the vase itself. Keeping this very, very easy. Just kind of wrapping it around, cutting it off, and boom, you're done. You've got the cutest vase as a base that you can use for all kinds of holiday florals and decors. I was super, super happy with this, and it was so easy. Now, this next DIY is also very, very easy and features our favorite candlesticks. I also grabbed some of these LED candles with these silver dots. Loved those. And 2 of these Dollar Tree kind of fish bowls. The candlesticks, I grabbed 2 that were the same size, and it was important to get ones with the base. Now, I spray painted mine silver. I'm using some hot glue instead of like an E6000 or super glue, because this is going to be temporary for me because I've got lots of ideas with these candlesticks now. Take your candlesticks and just glue those down to the bottom of your fish bowls. And it is a little top heavy, which is part of the reason why I'm using the LED candles in those. But it's definitely stable. Just make sure it's on a good surface, good solid surface. Add some faux snow and then add your candles, and you've got the cutest set of candlesticks. I think that these would be great on a dining room table or on your fireplace mantle. I really love the way that these turned out. All right, this next one's a little out of the box, but stay with me here. Socks. 3 pairs of socks from Dollar Tree. If you can find Dollar Tree knee highs that are in a Christmas pattern, even better. I also grabbed a pool noodle and a pair of slippers from Dollar Tree, and we are going to create kind of like some legs, if you will. Take your pool noodle, just kind of cut it in half. Believe it or not, I cannot find my pool knife cutter that I found from my last shopping haul. I cannot believe that I can't believe because my craft room space is a little messy. But anyway, the socks, as you can see, they are a little short. These are actually kids' socks, but they were the most kind of festive holiday looking ones that I found. And I wanted to take my pool noodles and kind of create ankles or create feet with them. And again, using scissors because I can't find my pool noodle knife. And then I just taped those together. I just used some duct tape. I had some silver duct tape. Now, remember I had 3 pairs of socks. So I took 2 pairs and cut the toes out of them. That way I could kind of feed them all the way up on the leg here. And I'm just kind of playing around with it. By the way, these are going to shed like crazy. And we're just kind of positioning it to where the blue kind of stripe covers what would be typically on the heel of the sock. I took my lint brush, told you I had to use a lint brush, and we're just going to lint these up and clean these up because they get everywhere. And then we're going to put our slippers back on to our feet. And this is going to be so cute inside of a Christmas tree. Now, if you think about little kids sneaking around the Christmas tree. They're wearing their Christmas PJs and their Christmas socks and slippers, and then they get caught, busted under the tree, or in this case, under the plant. But super cute, sticking out of a Christmas tree. Thought that this was adorable and really loved the way that this turned out. DIY, I'm going to be using these ornaments that I picked up from Dollar Tree. I also grabbed this Jingle Bell Garland and these faux cinnamon sticks. The faux cinnamon sticks did come from Hobby Lobby, and these greenery pieces that were also from Dollar Tree. Now we are going to take our cinnamon sticks, and again, these are not real cinnamon sticks. These are crafting cinnamon sticks, and we are going to open up this package because we are going to create some really cool decor that you can use on your plates for Christmas or for those upcoming holiday dinners. Now, I've got 12 of them in total because my table setting is for 2 people, and I'm going to create some little bundles with these. Now, what I'm doing is taking 6 cinnamon sticks and we are going to tie those together. For my ribbon options, I have this black and white with the snowflakes in the red, or this just black and red one. I went with the black and red one. Tell me if you think I should have gone with the other one. I'm going to just tie these off, and then we are going to add our greenery pieces. Now, my greenery pieces are a little long, and I did want something to kind of stick out on either side like this. So we're just going to trim these down. I'm going to take my lineman pliers, and we're just going to snip right through this wire. Now, if you don't have lineman pliers, these are something that like electricians apparently use a lot, and they have a really good cutter. They have a really good grip with them, and they're super easy to use. I have them linked in my Amazon store, but you can find them at Home Depot, Lowe's, places like that. So go ahead and cut down your greenery pieces to whatever size you need. And then we're going to kind of do a combo here. We're going to add a little bit of hot glue, put it on the back of those pieces, and kind of let them just kind of hold them in place. And then we are going to kind of tie off a knot in the middle here with our ribbon. Now, before we kind of finalize that ribbon with a big fancy bow, we are going to take our garland here, our bell garland, and we're just going to wrap a couple inches of this around the center here. And then we're going to add our snowflake ornament tied off. You've got the cutest bundle. I love this so much. I think it would be fantastic sitting on a dinner plate, and it's a great way to welcome in the festivities. My next project, I'm going to be making an ornament that's going to honor my pet, Mr. Otis. I'm going to take one of these terrariums, 2 of these Christmas trees from the Christmas villages that you can pick up at Dollar Tree, a wood block, and then I also found this package of dog and cats in the toy section. Of course, I only need 1 cat because I have Mr. Otis, and I'm going to go through this package of pets, and I'm going to find the one that I think represents Mr. Mr. Otis, or at least kind of looks like a Mr. Otis. He definitely will need a little bit of a paint job, but I think this guy is going to be perfect for it. So first thing I want to do is actually, believe it or not, I'm going to have to trim down the trees because I did want 2 trees in there. However, this one is a little tall. Now, I thought I could cut through it with regular scissors. That did not work. So I brought out my lineman pliers and just trimmed off that tip. But you will save that tip because I'm going to show you what we're going to do now. Next thing we're going to do is go ahead and just trim down our tree a little bit more just to make it kind of, similar shape to the other one. This will still be the taller tree that's going to be inside of your terrarium versus the height of the smaller tree. But, we have to shape it up a little bit because we chop the top of it off, and we want to just go ahead and trim this down. I'm just using a regular pair of scissors here, and you can easily cut through these wires with just any kind of scissors, really. Now that tip that I told you about, you're just going to take that tip and you're going to glue it right back on top of that tree that you started to trim down, and you are going to have another little tree. Now, when you put them side by side, you can see that you've got the one that's taller. I think I told you guys the one I trimmed was going to be taller, but clearly that wasn't the case. Now, I took an automotive chamois and just cut a circle into it. And I'm going to add some hot glue right on top of that chamois. And I'm going to add a nice little puddle here of hot glue because I am going to kind of use this as a snow mat for the inside of that terrarium. Now, I have this bag of snow mix that I've been using a couple different DIYs with. And I'm treating it just kind of like glitter. I'm literally putting it right on top of that glue glob, and then I'm just going to kind of pounce it down, tap it in until the actual snow starts to stick to the glittery parts. And then when that is all done, you're going to have something that looks like this. I'm going to go ahead and take some hot glue and I'm just going to put it in the bottom of my terrarium there. And we are going to set the snowy ground inside of the terrarium kind of like so. And then again, just kind of patting that down until it starts to stick. Once that is stuck, I'm going to then seal this bag up. This is a little trick that I do. I always take some hot glue, I put it right on the inside of the bag, I glue the ends of that together and fold it over. That way that snow does not get all over my work surface. Now for my tree that I trimmed down, I am going to add some more snow. This is just with a dry brush, a little bit of chalk paint on my brush, just going over the bristles like you see me doing right here. And then I did end up adding a little bit more snow on the other tree as well, just to make sure that everything was nice and snowy covered. We don't get a whole lot of snow where I live here in Atlanta, Georgia, but we do get ice. And that's certainly not fun. But I love snow. I would love to get more snow. Now, for my cat, I have to paint him very similar color to Mr. Otis. Now, I'm not an artist by any means. This is not going to be an actual, representation, or this is not going to be a duplicate of Mr. Otis. This is going to be an artistic version of Otis. And again, I'm just using some acrylic paint here. Now for that wood block, while the first layer of Mr. Otis is drying, I'm actually just painting that red because I am going to put a little bow on top of this. And this is going to be a little present inside of our ornament scene that we are doing with that terrarium. So painting the block just on all sides of it, getting red paint all over me. I'm using a red chalk paint from Waverly. I think it's called Crimson. And now I'm just, again, kind of working on Otis 2.0, adding in some white there because my kitty cat, as you guys know, if you followed me for a while, is orange and white. And I am just kind of layering on the paint, honestly, until I feel like I've got it pretty close to what my little buddy looks like. And again, he has some white spots. He has the white spots around his face, around his ears, around his tail. And again, I'm not an artist. I'm not a Picasso here, but I am giving a tribute if you will, to Mr. Otis. And that is going to be a pretty good representation. Now that little package has already dried, so I'm just taking a piece of my ribbon that I have here, and I'm just going to tie a very simple bow, and then I'm going to glue this right on top of the red block and turn it into a little present. Don't tell Otis that it's just a wood block, because I think he's going to think that it's a real present there. And again, just letting that glue set up and then just gluing that bow right on top. Then we're going to start assembling our ornament. And I am just taking some hot glue. I'm adding some hot glue onto one of my trees. I did grab the taller tree first. I went ahead and just worked that inside of my terrarium. And I wanted it to be a little farther back than it ended up, but I'm going to make it work. So now for the second tree, this is actually the tree that I did end up trimming down. So it's a little shorter than the other one was. Again, adding the glue in there. And then I'm just going to kind of strategically squish that in next to the other one and just kind of shift a few things around, if you will. And then once everything has been shifted around and the tree placement is set, I'm then going to go ahead and place my present. And when I place the present down inside of that, I'm going to nestle it on one side of the tree. Because this is a terrarium that we're turning into an ornament, you're going to see things in it from multiple sides, depending on how it's hanging. We're going to place everything all set. Otis is ready to go. And how cute is this? All you have to do is take a piece of ribbon, tie a little bow at the top, and then use that same piece of ribbon to also hang it from your Christmas tree. And you've got the cutest little tribute ornament. Their animal theme here, kind of non-traditional pets. We've got some reindeer ornaments that I picked up from Dollar Tree. I also have this great sheet of scrapbook paper. It's double-sided, but I loved this plaid. I also had this Dollar Tree magnet, and I thought it would be really, really cute to create something that was a cool ornament for the refrigerator, because why not decorate every single room of the house, including the kitchen? And you're going to have your coffee bars, you're going to have things set up, but you've got to have something on the refrigerator. I'm going to take my scrapbook paper here, and we're literally just going to wrap our magnet. Now we're going to wrap it on all of the sides except for where the magnet part is, because obviously we want that part to be able to stick onto the refrigerator. So trim down your scrapbook paper, make it work to where it's kind of wrapped around the actual magnet itself without covering that magnetic portion that's on the back. Hopefully visually you see what I'm doing here, and I don't know if it's making so much sense when I'm talking about it, but that's what we're going to do. Now for this ornament, we're going to kind of take it apart. It's got some different little pieces on it that I personally don't want to keep on mine. We're also going to remove the hanger part of the top of the kind of reindeer's head there. And now we're going to start painting it. I am using my ink Waverly chalk paint, and anything that's got glitter on it, I love to paint it, especially with something that I'm wanting it to have kind of like a metallic look to it. This paint always adheres really well to anything with glitter, and it's gonna almost give it a very cool metallic look because it looks very textured. Now I am going to go ahead and dry that, take out your heat gun. Heat gun's the best thing in the world. Now I'm really going to amp up that metallic look because we're going to add some rub and buff to it. I bought this cute little kind of rub and buff starter set on Amazon, and I was able to get 4 different colors. I'm just going to use the gold, and then we're going to go in a little bit with some of the black, and we are going to create this very kind of cool metallic, kind of vintagey looking reindeer head. You could do this with the larger reindeer head ornaments that they have at Dollar Tree as well. Once you've got that painted, simply just glue it down and you've got the cutest ornament for your refrigerator. How simple is this? I love the way this looks, and I think that this could be even something very cool for the man cave. Now for this next DIY, we're going to take this laundry sign that I picked up from Dollar Tree. I have these unfinished wood trees that I picked up from Joann's, etc. that we're going to use, and then also some scrapbook paper that I've had on hand. We are going to take those knobs off of this laundry sign. They're great. There's little screws there. Just grab a little screwdriver and remove those. For our laundry sign, I'm just going to paint the edges all around our sign. I'm using Waverly Antique, or this is Waverly's ink. Chalk paint. And then for the green trees, I'm using an Arteza paint. I believe it's called Forest Green. And this is just one of their acrylic paints. And we are going to paint our trees because we've got to have some green trees, especially pine trees. I think that's what these are anyway. And we're going to get these all painted and ready to go. Now that laundry sign, we are going to cover that with our scrapbook paper. So I am using the Elmer's purple glue stick. I did get this at Dollar Tree, by the way. It's in the school supplies section. I love working with the Elmer's glue. I love especially this purple stick because it's very easy to tell where you are getting glue. And then our scrapbook paper was not quite long enough, so we are just going to cut a little piece here and just kind of match up the patterns. And now we're going to poke holes back through that paper because we are going to add our knobs back on there, because remember, we are creating a very cool stocking hanger, and we have to have a place to put the stockings. Now the knobs, I did paint those black, and now I'm taking the trees and I'm kind of trimming away some of the excess. Now I'm doing that for two different reasons. One, I messed up, and the other thing is that it actually kind of turned out and worked out the way it should have been, because I needed something to help kind of keep this away from the wall. Now, this is going to make sense when you see where I end up gluing this, because I am adding some hot glue, and you see me gluing kind of parts of the trunk there, and we are going to stick this onto the back of our sign, kind of like so, because I didn't really like how tall the trees were, and if you think about the way that those trees are being applied to the back there, you're going to have a piece that kind of sticks out a little bit. You can see kind of right here. So now those little pieces where I trimmed those, we can put those and glue those down onto the back of our sign. And then that's going to help the sign when it needs to kind of lay flat up against the wall. Because in this case, we're pretending that maybe you don't have a place to hang stockings. Now, I have the white glue stick from Shore Bonder in my little mini glue gun here, and we are just adding some snow caps to the trees. And then for the back of this, we added a very simple picture hanger, and you've got the cutest little stocking holder. I love the way that this turned out. This was definitely inspired, by the way, by Shannon over at the Daily DIYer, so definitely check out her channel if you have not seen her. Of course, I'm sure you know who she is. Now, this next DIY is pretty easy. This again is going to incorporate scrapbook paper, my favorite thing ever. This picture frame that you can pick up at Dollar Tree is really, really cool. What's great about this too is that it does have screws on it as well, so you can easily remove this. If you can pick up that small, tiny little screwdriver set from Dollar Tree, it will become your best friend, by the way. So if you don't have that on hand, definitely look for that when you go into the store next time. It is a game changer, especially with all of these small items that have these tiny little screws. Now, once you removed that frame, go ahead and definitely put it aside where you can get to it later on, because we are going to be bringing it back. And then we're bringing out the trusty glue stick again, the Elmer's purple glue stick, and we are just going to cover this with our glue stick, because we are going to very easily cover this entire thing with a piece of scrapbook paper. And all you have to do is trace the scrapbook paper, trace it out, cut it out, glue it down, and you are good to go. And what's great about this is that scrapbook paper that I chose it already goes with the black frame that was there and also the black base that's there. So this is going to be the perfect color combo. Now, if you wanted to paint this, you certainly could, because these MDF pieces, obviously they paint up really easy. The frame is metal, so you could definitely paint that. Totally up to you. Now for my next DIY, it's going to take quite a few of these cinnamon brooms from Dollar Tree. I've had these for a while, and I collect them kind of every time I see them. And we are going to use a wire wreath form. Now the first thing you're going to want to do, of course, is take all of those cinnamon brooms out of the packaging. Definitely a little time consuming. I think I had about 22 of these. I did end up having a few extras. And the idea was going to be to take these and just kind of glue them to the wire form. But once I kind of figured out that wasn't going to work very well, I decided that I would go ahead and take my wire form and start wrapping this in some burlap ribbon that I had. Now, I didn't have a lot of this burlap ribbon, and it wasn't quite enough to go all the way around, but you're going to see that I was able to make this work still. The burlap ribbon really of any kind, but the burlap for sure, it's just going to help kind of adhere those brooms to the wire wreath form. This is totally optional. You could also use a whole different kind of ribbon if you wanted to. This is not a true burlap ribbon. This is kind of that, that like plasticky kind of ribbon, but it does end up working. So now that I've kind of put as much ribbon as I have onto the wreath form, you'll see where I'm talking about how it didn't quite go together, but that's okay, because that is the area that we can put our swag that we're going to be doing for this wreath as well, just to give it some color. So use your glue gun, kind of glue everything in place, get that ready to go, and then you're just going to start gluing. Now, you can play around with this. You could put the ends on either side. I kind of liked the idea of that raffia wrapped, or that grapevine kind of wrapped points kind of going towards the middle. You could play around with this and alternate this if you wanted to. Obviously, it would just depend on the number of these brooms that you have. This smells so good, and I know that cinnamon can also be very sensitive to pets, so obviously you want to keep that in mind. This is actually not going to stay in my house. I'm going to be giving this to a neighbor friend of mine that does not have any pets. And the glue that you're going to be using, this is just an all-purpose Sure Bonder glue, pretty easy peasy. And I am just going to keep layering as many of these brooms as possible on here. And you can slightly overlap them a little bit. Play around with the number of brooms that you have. If you think you're going to have enough, if you think you're not going to have enough, then obviously spread that around, spread the love. Now, for this gap, this is where we're going to put some Christmas florals. And these are like the only Christmas florals that I have left, especially right now in July. But I think all of these are going to be really pretty. They're going to be really beautiful against that cinnamon broom, and give this a very cool kind of rustic look. Now, for your florals, you're just going to kind of create your spray, whatever kind of spray you want, and then you're going to be wiring that spray to your wreath form. Now, I like to build mine a little more organically versus creating a spray and then adding it to my wreath. So I'm just kind of taking some of the longer pieces, some of the more basic pieces, putting them on the back side, adding some floral wire in this. This is great too, because if I want to update it later on, I can, because nothing is really glued on to here as far as the florals go anyway. And again, you're just kind of building. And then I found these poinsettias, so I decided to take these and add to them. And then you're literally just kind of playing around until you've got a spray that you like. This is it on the wall right now in the guest room. Obviously, this will go somewhere else. Super cute. Loved the way that this turned out. Now for this next DIY, I thought this would be a cute stocking hanger. Very easy. You can find these in the Dollar Tree right now. And you're just going to keep it simple. Grab some scrapbook paper. I have this set of scrapbook paper that I picked up. I believe I picked this up at Hobby Lobby. I've had this for a while. And you're just going to flip through here and kind of find the scrapbook paper that really speaks to you. Now, A lot of these go really well with that black metal. I loved this one because of the vintage Christmas bulbs, but I also really liked it because it did have black in there, and I'm not planning on changing out the hardware or anything because this is going to be a stocking hanger. I'm going to simply add some glue to the back of this. We're going to use this entire piece of scrapbook paper because I want this pattern to be kind of centered here, and I'm going to use my little roller tool to just kind of make sure that all my air bubbles and everything are out. And after I let this dry for a little while, after kind of rolling it out, we are then going to cut this out, and you're just going to cut this right around the wood. The great thing is that the wood really kind of gives you some good resistance. So easy. Hang a stocking on this, hang a Christmas ornament on this, and you've got a very easy hanger for your stocking if you don't have a fireplace. Now for this next DIY, we're going to use these candle holders. I thought that these were great. They reminded me of some Christmas carols and Christmas stories that you kind of read and you hear about these, or you see these characters kind of carrying these candles down the hallway. And I'm going to incorporate some of these Wreath Garland ties, and I'm going to take these outside and spray paint them. For the Garland ties, I do want to go ahead and kind of trim them up a little bit. They're a little long, they're a little bushy looking for me, and I'm just going to kind of give them a haircut and just kind of streamline these a little bit. Now, I did this on both sides of this and then also with the other one. So we had some nice kind of thinner garland pieces to work with because the way that we're going to be wrapping them, it just wasn't going to work. Now, this is the new color. I spray painted them a bright Christmas red, which I really love, of course. And then I've got some ribbon, but we are going to take our garland ties and we are going to wrap the handles of our candle holders with this. And as you can see, because there is a wire in this garland, this makes it really, really easy. And all you have to do is just kind of keep feeding it in and out and just continue to wrap as you're going all around the candlestick. Very, very easy, or I guess technically it's the candle hand stick, or that's the handle of the candlestick. And you're just going to keep wrapping around until you reach the end. And then when you do reach the end, just go ahead and grab a pair of pliers, pair of wire cutters, and you are going to just go ahead and snip that off. Super, super easy. And these cut even with regular scissors, I feel like. I know I've cut these with regular scissors many times in the past. So now that you've got this kind of wrapped around, you could certainly add some other accoutrements to it. Think about those garland beads that Dollar Tree always comes out with. Those would be really, really cute wrapped around there as well, just to give it some extra pop. I'm going to take my ribbon here and I'm just going to tie a very simple bow. And then we're going to take that very simple bow and we are just going to glue it to the top. Now, I know it's a little difficult to see kind of what I'm doing from this angle. However, this is what they look like when they are done. So, so cute. I love this so, so much. It speaks Christmas to me and I'm so happy. Now, if you followed me for a little while, you know that I picked this gorgeous lantern up at Goodwill. And I was super, super excited to work with this, and I knew immediately when I saw it that I needed it for my Christmas decor. Now, this lantern does have glass in it, but I'm going to take the glass out, and we're going to put the glass aside. I'm not totally going to get rid of the glass, but we're not going to be using the glass in this particular DIY. So go ahead and just kind of bend those metal clips, and then we're going to take out the other pieces, and it kind of works the same way. All you have to do is kind of bend the clips a little bit, start taking that glass out, almost like you're doing a picture frame. And it did come out really, really easy. The glass is in great shape, so I'm going to make sure that I put this aside somewhere. That way I can use this again if I want to. Now, I took my lantern out and I spray painted it black. Love the classic kind of matte black finish here. This might be actually a semi-gloss now that I think about it. This is one of the Dollar Tree candle rings. I had this left over from my Christmas supplies from last year, and I thought this was just kind of perfect, honestly. I loved the way that this just sat in here. It was a really, really good size. And then I also had these stems that I wanted to incorporate, these pine stems. Now, the pine stems were a little long, so I did cut them down a little bit and then just kind of fed them into the corners. That way, this just looks like it's spilling out. And then this candle came from Temu. This is from one of my earlier Temu hauls. I love how bright this is. I also love how tall this is. And when you add it to the center, how gorgeous is this for Christmas decor? It will be perfect on a front porch, dining room table, a mantle, so many gorgeous, gorgeous options. Now with this next DIY, we're going to incorporate this wood round that I picked up from Pop Shelf. I've had this for a little while. I have this buffalo check or buffalo plaid vinyl from Dollar Tree. I also have this wreath form that I picked up from Hobby Lobby on clearance, and then those reindeer ornaments. Now, I'm not a big fan of using the vinyl in my machine, in my Cricut machine. However, I do love it for this purpose, and we are going to cover this wood round in this buffalo check pattern. So you've got the little staple here at the top from where I took the paper off of it, but use that actually to your advantage because it can help center your plaid pattern on here, and that's kind of what I'm doing here. And then I am going to make sure that that is good and adhered, and then I did just kind of trim off the excess, and then we're going to roll it just to make sure, again, it is super, super sticky. And then I went back through, and now we're just going to kind of trim off of those edges and get those completely gone. I did think about folding them over, but I decided to go ahead and just kind of clean it up. You could certainly take a lighter to this as well and just kind of burn off those edges to tighten it up if you want to, but you're not really going to see it because this is kind of what we're going to be doing. But we are going to take care of our reindeer friend first because we need to bend his antlers. I want the antlers to kind of be spread apart just a little bit so you can see that there are two sets of antlers there. Now we are going to take our wood round, our buffalo plaid wood round, and we are going to glue this to the back of that wreath. Go ahead and add a generous amount of glue, and you'll notice that my wood round is about perfect size for the back of this wreath form, and that's going to adhere very nicely to that kind of wreath form, that raffia? Why can't I say that word? That raffia kind of grape wreath form. And just kind of hold it in place. Hold it until it starts to adhere and set up, and get rid of any kind of glue strings and all that stuff. And you can see it makes a very bright, very cute backdrop. Now we're going to take our reindeer. Now that his antlers have kind of spread apart, that heat gun helped kind of heat those up, and then just kind of bend them, hold them into place until it cools down. Go ahead and add some glue. You're going to add some to the hoofs and also to the antlers of the reindeer, and you're just going to nestle him down into the wreath form, and this is what you get. Very, very simple, very, very elegant. I love the way that this turned out.